Wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go before the game, during the game, and after the game. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
The biggest games, the biggest rivalries, all right here, live. You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week pregame show, brought to you by Mr. Chubby's Wings on ESPN 690, ESPN690.com, and on Facebook at ESPN 690 Jax. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome to week 10 of the high school football season, and that means beautiful weather, big crowds, and playoff spots potentially on the line, along with district championships for sure on the line. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, and we are in St. Johns County for a big one between St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra, and a district championship is on the line here tonight in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Thanks for jumping on board on another Friday night, and we've got a big crowd that's about to witness a pretty good football game. I expect good things and a big one, and who knows, we've gone to overtime the last couple of weeks. We've also had a missed kick to go to overtime for a third straight week. I kind of predict this one will be close. I hope I'm not wrong, Coach.
No, I think it's going to be a really good football game. You get two really well-coached teams, a lot of winning tradition, a lot of positive things coming off of both of these teams. Real excited tonight. District championship game. It's late October. It's cooling off a little bit. What more can you ask for us?
You've been a part of it for a long time. You get a different vibe this time of year, no doubt about it, with a couple weeks to go in the regular season. Welcome, everybody, to our Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show. And Ponte Vedra is a team that has done a nice job with their program.
Yes.
They lost their coach, though. Matt Toblin goes over to the Bowles School. That can hamper a program, especially since he did a great job building this thing up. Well, Jeff DeSandro, who came from Bishop Kenny as an assistant, comes on over. Quite frankly, we've been around high school football a lot, and I didn't know much about Jeff DeSandro.
Right.
This has surprised me. He's been able to keep this ship going in the right direction. Here they are playing for a district championship. Admirable job taking over from Matt Toblin.
Yeah, really good job. Coach DeSandro got a good pedigree, has coached in Division III football, been an offensive coordinator, been in college game about 10 years, came down, worked for Bobby Rolliston's staff at Bishop Kenny. Similar, when I talked to him, I asked him, how was the transition? He goes, Coach Toblin and I are sort of a little bit the same. We want accountability. We want our kids to be coached. We want people to know we're fundamentally sound, and we take care of the little things. He said, so as that part was easy. He said, and then some of these guys left and went to Bowles. He said, but the guys that want to be here want to be here. He said, so we're just coaching. We're trying to win. We're doing the best we can, but we're going to be here for the long haul. We're going to build this program and keep it going from what Coach Toblin did, sustain it.
You know what happens around high school football these days, too, is people leave.
Right.
Players leave, and they go try to find different spots. It's free agent in
right.
high school football if you really want it to be, and especially when there's a coaching change. Well, wow, what a job they did. Now, they lost a couple good players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they definitely did. But overall, if you look at the numbers, they kept most of their roster
right.
from last year, even with the coaching change. And that's a good sign for a program to kind of just keep on rolling.
Yeah, and again, they have a winning tradition, and they do have a lot of seniors. They've got, I want to believe, 8 on defense starting that have played. Now, some of the guys weren't starters last year, but they played in a lot of games, and so it's sort of like next man up mentality. And I really like what they've done. They lost the starting quarterback from a year ago early on in the season, and that was, to me, probably the biggest wrench thrown into the whole deal was losing Jacoby Myers to a leg injury early in the year. I want to say Kickoff Classic type of thing. But what a tremendous job the backup that's come in, and that really is not the backup anymore. R.J. Gould has done. Glod, I'm sorry. R.J. Glod had done. And just percentage-wise, getting the ball out, but their kids have made plays. And that's what it's down to right here, especially 6-1 at this state of the game.
And he leads St. Johns County in passing, coming off the bench, and he's really had this team since the get-go, really, in 2019, and done a fantastic job. What about St. Augustine? We'll get to them when we come back. We'll take a quick break here on the Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show. District Championship on the line in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Of course, you can watch it on the social media platforms as well, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. It's all right there, and we are going to have a good one here on a Friday night, week number 10. Back to talk about the Yellow Jackets right after this.
Nolik and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st. To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Tonight's pregame show is sponsored by Mr. Chubby's Wings. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go before the game, during the game, and after the game. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CRV, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker Sports.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Eli Manning is one of the nicest dudes. Class personified. It's impossible to root against him. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not calling him some scrub. We're saying Father Time's caught up.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week pregame show. Brought to you by Mr. Chubby's Wings on ESPN 690. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome back to Ponte Vedra High School, everybody. St. Johns County, the host of our Game of the Week on ESPN 690, Action Sports Jack's Game of the Week, which will lead us right into the Friday Night Blitz tonight. Program reminder, because of the World Series game number 3 that's on Fox 30 tonight, the Friday Night Blitz, we'll have our 10:30 edition on Facebook. That will go live at 10:30, so we'll have all the highlights, and then we do a mini version of the Blitz on the CBS side, on CBS 47 at 11:15, and that one will air on the TV side on CBS 47. But the game here, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 on your radio dial, on ESPN690.com stream, and of course the video to go along with it on YouTube, on our Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 channel, and also on Facebook and Twitter, just to name a few. Brent Martin along with Kevin Sullivan, district championship on the line. St. Augustine High School here against Ponte Vedra High School. And, Coach, as we talk about St. Augustine, we know the tradition from Joey Wiles to what Brian Braddock's been able to do. Had a down year last year, but they've bounced back nicely to put themselves in a position here at 5-3 and perfect in district play to win it tonight.
Yeah, and the thing about, too, scheduling-wise and everything, they're going to play all the good people and stuff just because of the reputation and everything that they've done. But it's really, really nice to see them get back in. It's a little bit different of a district than what they've been in. They've been stuck in with a bunch of Duval County schools the last few years, and now being a little closer to home, so they've been able to keep some of the rivalries and everything. But, again, really looking forward to this game. Very well coached. Defensively, I think will be the difference with them trying to take care of that attack of Ponte Vedra. And I want to keep a special eye out on number 1, Jaden McDowell. Old throwback, two-way guy, leads them in tackles, also one of the leading receivers on the team. And returns kicks and punts, barely comes off the field.
All right, keep an eye on quarterback Sammy Edwards, too. He kind of turned his season around a little bit against Bartram Trail. It was a 42-40 loss, but they found something on offense. They've been clicking ever since. Brian Braddock calls his team dangerous. Dangerous to the opposition and sometimes dangerous to themselves because of some immaturity. They're just a young football team. We've experienced that up and around the Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, and St. Augustine fits that bill. But they are talented, so don't sleep on them here tonight. You kind of get a veteran bunch with all the seniors on defense in Ponte Vedra against a youthful but talented team in St. Augustine. Should be a lot of fun to watch. We're going to come back and we'll have the opening kickoff of this one. We'll take a timeout on our Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show. And the call of the game up next from Ponte Vedra High School on ESPN 690.
Golick and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st.
What better way could you spend your Friday morning? Take your time. We'll wait. Well, looks like we'll be seeing you at Intuition Ale Works. Everyone's invited, but only a few are going to get the VIP treatment.
To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker's Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker's Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Hey, we're getting ready for kickoff here in Ponte Vedra, St. Johns County. The Sharks hosting St. Augustine, the Yellow Jackets, in a district championship game in 3-6A. Should be a good one. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. And let's connect on our Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show with our Honda of the Avenues. Keys to the game, Lusab Honda of the Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. Coach, what do you have?
Well, for Ponte Vedra, they need to be able to run the ball effectively. Don't want to be one-dimensional. Contain St. Augustine passing, got to get some pressure on Sammy Edwards tonight, force him into mistakes. And third, the kicking game, they lost their kicker, Ashcroft. And so they're playing, he's a senior who's kicked before, but Neil McDonough is going to be doing the kicking for Ponte Vedra. So I think that'll be something to look at. On St. Augustine's side, must maintain balance on offense in the run pass. They've been real solid with that. Be able to disrupt the PV passing game, because they're very sound in the secondary, very good in the secondary, and then eliminate any big penalties and stupid things that they've done of immaturity things. So, again, those 3 things should be happening tonight.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Those are our keys to the game. Lusab Honda, the Avenues, keys to the game. Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. We appreciate the support of Lusab Honda of the Avenues here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. So here we go from Ponte Vedra. The Ponte Vedra Sharks will get the football first, and the kick is right to left and bobbled around the 8-yard line, but it's going to be brought back crease on across the 30 and the 35 out to the 40-yard line. So a good start for the Sharks as they'll get starting field position on a breezy evening, but a beautiful one here in St. Johns County.
And it looked like Thomas running the ball back, number 14 right there. Good kick. That's also starting wideout, kicking off Blanco for St. Augustine. So, again, the first series, I think, on both sides will be very important for both teams going forward.
Ponte Vedra comes out with the football first, and they will go left to right in their navy blue and uniforms and helmets and powder blue numbers, all whites for St. Augustine. From the 41-yard line, it's 1st and 10, a give up the middle, tried to go off the left tackle and couldn't do so, swallowed up for nothing by the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, a little inside zone sort of game. Really good coached inside. That was Devin Carter, 44 down inside on the tackle. St. Augustine's always really good against the run, especially the inside guys. So they have one senior on the D lineman that's played a lot, but they've got a lot of guys in there that have been flying around.
So it brings up 2nd and 10 from their own 41. They send a player in motion. The fake give and the keep by Glott, and he's got room up to midfield and close to a first down before he slides down and tackled on the 49-yard line of St. Augustine. And I think it's short of the first down, but it'll bring up 3rd and just a few inches.
Yeah, a little quarterback power off there on the end. So they sort of wrapped the puller, and they're reading the guy. He goes inside. Quarterback just kept it and pulled it off and got a really nice gain of 9. Big third down.
So here we go on a 3rd and short from the 49-yard line. The give to Stevens up the gut. He breaks through down to the 40-yard line. So it's a first down and a gain of 11. And now Ponte Vedra's driving here on the opening possession.
Yeah, really good little power play off the little run play off the edge. Got a good little wrap by the left guard, and they're starting to, sort of pushing around a little bit. Real good group of offensive linemen up front for PV: Lewis, Mazzelli, Hallsbin, Mahoney, and Butler. And then you throw the big tight end in there, getting some good blocking in their Peacock. So.
Mikey Stevens in the backfield off the left hip of Galati. Has the ball again, cuts back toward the middle and down to the 35 before he's body slammed to the ground after a decent pickup of a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, again, just sort of taking care, sort of leaning on the St. Augustine guys. They've been playing a lot of 4-down stuff. We'll see if they start moving the front a little bit. Coach Brack usually likes to move the guys around a little bit on their front and slant them, strength of week. Coming out, getting a little bit of different look to start this game for Ponte Vedra.
So we'll bring up 2nd and 6. Send a man in motion. Stevens off the left hip, fakes it. Roll out left by Galati. Has room to run down to the 30 and slides close to the 25-yard line. That'll be another first down. So R.J. Glod using his legs early in this one.
Yeah, that's a really nice design play. Again, coming off the inside zone fake, getting a little read on that, and he could have thrown that to the fullback who leaked out on the under route. And he just kept it and took off, got another first down.
So down to the 26-yard line. We'll call it 1st and 10 once again for the Sharks. Early in this one in the first quarter, opening drive for the Sharks. Wide receiver left, one right, and now a whistle as there's an issue with the clock, and the officials will try to figure that out.
It went to 96 minutes.
That's going to be a long quarter, Coach.
That's going to
be a long night. These high school games are already long enough. We don't need 96 minutes in the first quarter. Fred Martin along with Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Do you believe we've been doing this for 10 weeks now? How about that? And we finally got the good stuff in terms of the weather.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful night in St. Johns County, of course, not far from the beach. And we got a little breeze, and now both teams will go to their respective sideline as they try to figure out the clock. 9:29 to go now. They figure it out in the first quarter. Scoreless game. Opening possession for the Sharks, and it's been a good one.
Yeah, good positive play, changing the formation a little bit, giving them a little too tight set. So they're giving them a little 12 personnel, one back, too tight, two wideouts, moving guys around a little bit. So they're getting in and out of some sets.
They give the handoff to Stevens. He's looking for some room. Not a lot of room to run on that left side near the numbers. Maybe gets a yard, but that's about it.
Yeah, they did a nice job. A little sort of little wing T sweep there, get a little block down, pull both guards. St. Augustine, good fit, good run fits. Good tackle by 44 in there. Number 1, Jaden McDowell, also down inside, who leading tackler on the team.
You're going to hear McDowell's name a bunch.
He'll be all over the place. We got an issue with the clock again.
Yeah, so they're trying to get it straightened out. I mean, sooner or later, they'll just keep it on the field if they can't figure things out.
As a coach, you'd rather not keep it on the field, especially if you're on the far side, because the clock operator on the field will be on the home side, and they'll have the advantage.
I think they're going to utilize this a little bit as a hydration timeout. We'll keep it right here for now, and as they try to figure out the clock. It's 2nd down and 9 from the 25-yard line of St. Augustine. Ponte Vedra's first possession. Big game, district championship in 3-6A. Both teams having nice seasons, undefeated at 2-0 in the district, 5-3 for St. Augustine, 6-1 for Ponte Vedra. And just two proud programs, good programs, and we've got a fantastic atmosphere out here for high school football. It's what it's all about.
Yeah, and the one real common opponent that they had, that they both lost to, Bartram, they were both in great, tremendous games. I think they were both 3-point losses by both of them. One was a 52-49, and I want to believe the other one was like a flea flicker on the last play of the game down the sideline. Bartram got the win by 5. So I think we're going to be in for a treat here as this thing keeps going.
And Bartram has been the measuring stick.
Yep.
Here in St. Johns County and really maybe in Northeast Florida so far this season. Okay, here we go. 9:28 to go in the first quarter. Set a man in motion. Glod will keep it now on 2nd and 9. He rolls to his right. He has a wide-open receiver. Does he get his feet in, or is he out of bounds? They call it a catch and a touchdown. And that is Aiden Lingesfelser for the touchdown, the senior wide receiver. And Ponte Vedra strikes first.
Yeah, really good job there. Again, they came off. They saw something earlier about 4 plays ago. Little inside zone. They bring the under route down. The motion guy came, ran the wheel. They had a blown coverage in the secondary on that for St. Augustine. They should have either played it, if they're playing the cover 3, should have stayed deep. But I think they blew the coverage in the second. Really good ball. Almost pushed them out of bounds. But still got the points when they needed it.
So now the extra point attempt, the snap, the hold, the kick. It's up and it's good. And it's 7-0 just like that for the Ponte Vedra Sharks. That was really close on the sideline.
Yeah,
really tough to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had an instant replay, it might have been on the line.
Yes.
It's tough to tell because it was kind of a pity patter. One of his
You only need one.
Did hit
Yep.
out of bounds, but the other one looked like it could have been in. I think it was the right call by the official.
Right.
And it's a touchdown for the Sharks.
Man, look at you getting on the officials early in the game.
Oh, I just said I think it's the right call. I mean, I kind of got on him for a minute, and then I said I think he did a good job.
Right. I thought he did, but we couldn't quite see if the back foot hit first, then the front foot hit the line. So I thought it was in. I thought it was a good call early on. See?
Yeah.
I got a week off, so I'm nice and relaxed.
You're cleansed. And you also know that you're stress-free because here we are late in the season, and your blood pressure is right where it needs to be, right up here instead of down there.
Yes, sir. Exactly. That's what I like.
The Hall of Fame coach Kevin Sullivan with us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Our game of the week, Ponte Vedra strikes first. Opening drive was a good one. R.J. Glod uses his legs, and then the 24-yard touchdown pass to Lingensfelder for the touchdown. So now the kickoff left to right. Taken around the 20-yard line, a little pooch kick. Across the 30, 32, still on his feet, out of the 35, up to the 37-yard line. So both teams, after the kickoffs, starting with pretty good field position.
Yeah, Brendan Greenwood on the reception. Really nice job because the pooch, it looked like he wasn't getting where he sort of dipped back inside, made a guy miss. Got a nice little return. So, again, Ponte Vedra does not want to kick the ball to Jaden McDowell deep. That's number one. We've seen that. They've got two guys that can really go back, McDowell and Braxton, and also Junior Johnson, too, number 8. So,
all right, so now here's St. Augustine. Starts off in their own 37-yard line. Dangerous football team on offense. Sammy Edwards, handoff around the right side, just good for a yard as the back slips up, has crossed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Justice Johnson right there. Now, they'll do really running back by committee. They'll play about 3 or 4 different guys back there. Change of pace guys, bigger guys, faster guys, but they do a really good job of getting them in and out.
And they'll go up tempo here on 2nd and 9. Then to look over to the sideline, get the play. 2 wide receivers left. Johnson, who just carried the football in the backfield with Edwards. Receiver to the right. 8:16 to go. Quarter, 7-0. Sharks just scored first. Edwards now has some time in the pocket. Now looks to get flush, runs a little bit, and tripped up at the 40-yard line, going sideways, and that's where he'll fall down. After a gain of a couple, will bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, so one thing that Ponte Vedra are doing a good job is they're answering the check to the sideline call. They're changing what they're in on defense. They're changing the coverage a little bit. They're disguising it. One good thing about having some senior linebackers, a really good core guys that played a lot of snaps, they understand football and they understand concepts, and they're making some adjustments to put the pressure on Sammy Edwards.
So it's 3rd and 7. 7:35 and counting in the first quarter. Sharks by a touchdown on the opening drive. 2 wide receivers right, 2 to the left. Johnson in the backfield off the right hip of Sammy Edwards. Now they flood the left side with a man in motion. And that pass to the right is incomplete, and probably fortunate it wasn't picked off right there in the flat. Incomplete pass. Now St. Augustine forced the punt on the first possession.
Yeah, first punt, real good job by 55, the defensive end. Sort of outside linebacker. I want to believe that's 55, Brent, but he did a nice job. 53, I'm sorry. Did a nice job. Sort of baited the tackle and then picked the back up, so he had to drop on that.
Snap's a good one. The punt is a good one, too, by St. Augustine. All the way back to their own 20-yard line, a fair catch I'll call it the 21 where he caught it, and that's where Ponte Vedra will take over for possession number 2. They're 1-for-1, and they lead at 7-0 here early.
Yeah, that's a really good defensive stand for them early, sort of flexing themselves. And St. Augustine takes them a little bit while to get going. They try to do a few things offensively. But I think PV's got a really good plan, got some real solid tendencies of what they're trying to do just by watching the way they were getting lined up and everything defensively. But again, early on, first drive, see what the adjustment defensively for St. Augustine with PV coming out on the second drive of the game.
Hey, you don't want to get down 2 scores in a district championship game. That can really set the tone. So it'll be up to the St. Augustine defense to stop that from happening here early. Ponte Vedra, R.J. Glod in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, now looks right and throws it to the right sideline. That's Lingensfeld again. Wanted a late hit over there on St. Augustine. They don't get it. It's really just a pass reception of a couple yards on the near sideline as that play went more horizontal than vertical.
Yeah, Lingenfelder, he's averaging about 20 yards a catch, 4 touchdowns, about doing a really good job. They spread the ball out. They've got 4 guys all about around the same, all around 400 yards on the year. So it's hard to take one away because they do such a good job of moving the ball. 2
receivers bunched up on the near side. Not a lot of room to work on the near sideline. 2nd and 8. The handoff to Stevens, and right up the gut, not much doing as St. Augustine's right there. There's a flag on the play as well. In the land of illegal formation
that's
or
what I'm thinking.
offsides.
I don't think he got set. They moved the H-back, sort of the tight end H-back to the other side, and I don't think he got set enough right on top of that. So they're going to end up backing him up on this. But again, St. Augustine now defensively changed the front. They're sort of slanting their guys and working some twist on the inside. And they seem to have a couple bigger bodies inside. So that'll be something to watch. Experienced offensive line. 1 senior for St. Augustine on the defensive line. Not a lot of experienced guys that have played a lot, but they're just not 2-3 years like the Ponte Vedra guys.
So here we go. They back up a handful of yards, and it's now 2nd and 12 from their own 19.
Ball.
Bad snap, ball's on the ground, and Glod just dives on it right about the 9 or 10-yard line. And so an empty play there. In fact, it goes backwards for the Sharks.
Yeah, it was a good play by the quarterback there, not trying to pick it up and do something that you couldn't do because it went through his legs. He had to find it. Glod did a really good job of getting that ball and just getting on top of it and live another play.
6:25 and counting to go in the first quarter. 7-0. Sharks scored on their first possession, but this one's going backwards. They started at their own 21. They're now down at their own 10-yard line, and it's 3rd and a bundle for the Sharks. They'll split 3 receivers to the left.
In a roll.
Glod in the shotgun gets a snap. Looking to his left, of course. Now down the middle of the field, has a receiver, caught at the 24, but good defense by St. Augustine. They were playing the sticks, and that will bring up a 4th down for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, real nice job to run a little clearing route. They've got the inside guy vertical and the outside, the middle guy vertical, and they run the number 3 on the dig about 10, 15 yards, just a little bit short of the first down, but good concept right there. You going to get a fake here, Brett?
No, too early for that, Coach. Own 26-yard line, now looking to punt. Good snap, plenty of time, no rush.
Oh,
but
not
the
a good
kick
punt.
Is
Awful.
kicked toward us and way out of bounds around the 35-yard line. And this one actually will be fantastic position for St. Augustine, as that will be a net of about 7 yards. That's it for Ponte Vedra. And St. Augustine will start at the Sharks' 33-yard line.
I told you they should have faked it.
They should have. Would have been better off. We're going to take a water break here at Ponte Vedra High School. It's our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. 5:27 to go in the first. 7-0. Sharks in the lead. St. Augustine gets the ball when we come back.
Get your Florida Georgia weekend started with Golic and Wingo live in Jacksonville Friday, November 1st at Intuition Ale Works on Bay Street. Come join us for our live show from 6 to 10, where you can hear our show live on ESPN Jacksonville 690. Golic and Wingo live from Intuition Ale Works, November 1st, 6 through 10.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
And we jump right back into it. 7-0 Sharks lead St. Augustine, but St. Augustine with the football. And on first down from the 33 of Ponte Vedra, it's a good-looking run inside the 25, right up the gut. A gain of 9.
Yeah, good. Just power, running off tackle. Get a good double team by the right guard and right tackle. Got a little movement in there. Again, another different back end for St. Augustine. That, like I said, they'll do it by committee. They'll play a lot of different backs, a lot of different guys.
Brings up a second down and about 1. Kind of out of the pistol formation. They run right up. They got a big collision at the line of scrimmage. And then a fall forward, maybe for the first down. We'll see where the officials spot it. That was a massive collision.
That was
at the
a big
line.
hit inside there. Looked like number 6 in there, Brent. Big inside group.
Anthony Wilson doing the tough running there to pick up the first down. Wilson stays in the game. He's okay. Both players okay. Just a big football collision. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. Excellent field position after a poor punt for St. Augustine. They trail 7-0. 4:30 to go in the first. Glod now spits it out to the left. Got a receiver at the 15, caught, and then down to the 11-yard line. That's Jaden McDowell. He does it all for St. Augustine. You'll hear his name more than anybody else here tonight.
Yeah, they're trying to bracket him a little bit on that, playing the safety off. The safety sort of stepped down, stepped back, and they just sort of checked to that little quick throw. He caught it. Picked up a first down. Nice, easy throw and catch. Get Sammy a little confidence in the big game. Get them all settled down.
So it brings up a 1st and 10 just outside the 10. There's a chance to get a 1st and goal down near the 1-yard line still. 5 wide receivers set, empty backfield for Glod. Now he sends man in motion. He gives it to that man in motion. Wilson looked to throw it. He's just trying to run away from everybody on that far side, and he can't. Maybe gains a yard, but that's about it as Ponte Vedra sniffed that play out.
Yeah, that was a really good job defensively. Again, the linebackers are really doing a good job with their run fits and their keys. Basically, they give you an empty look, but they bring the back and just basically run an outside zone jet sweep. The right tackle couldn't get on the edge, but it did look like Wilson has a little option probably to throw that on that because he sort of peeked as he went out and then tucked it and got what he could.
So it brings up 2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Shotgun snap. Catch around the 9-yard line as they throw left on the near sideline, but swallowed up once again. The ball's loose. Ponte Vedra thinks it's out, but they blew the whistle dead right around the 8-yard line. So no fumble. It's a catch. It's for a couple of yards. It will bring up 3rd and about 7 yards.
Yeah, again, so they just throw it out. It's 2 over 2 out there. And basically catch, but the wideout's got to catch it and go. He can't catch it and sort of dance, and go. So, again, just getting the ball out fast, getting a little confidence, trying to keep them, loosen them up inside to work some of the edges. So it brings up 3rd down. Still can get a first down, about 7.5.
Cody Cooper on the last catch. 5 wides once again for St. Augustine. Quick throw
nice
right
job
to the end zone on a slant play, and that's a touchdown right at the goal line. And a flag late, but I think it's after the score. So on 3rd and 7, quick toss touchdown on the slant, and that was almost too easy for St. Augustine. They've got themselves a touchdown. We have a man down on the field right at the goal line as well.
Yeah, definitely. They're just an empty set. They're trying to play 3 over 3, and the safety's way off. He's probably in the end zone about 2 yards. It was just catch the ball and throw a quick slant. And Jaden McDowell catches it, gets in the end zone, gets skinny. And we got one down here, Brent.
Yeah, that's right. This was quick, too. That happened right at the goal line, right about where Jaden McDowell caught the ball. The penalty is going to be on Ponte Vedra, so the touchdown will stand. Right now, some concern around the goal line for an injured Ponte Vedra player. Went down quick. The training staff came out there pretty quick, too. So we'll keep our eye on this. McDowell, they're moving him all around.
Yes.
Right, they had him on the left earlier in the drive. They moved him in the slot there and just a quick little slant play, and that was easy for St. Augustine as Sammy Edwards finds McDowell.
Well, they're moving him around so that he's been out by himself in the single. He's been in the slot over on that side. Then they put him in the inside of trips in the empty set. So that's going to draw the safety who's on top, who's a safety, not a really good, I'm not going to say he's not a good cover guy. But for what they're doing with him, he's a safety.
Yeah.
You're not playing man-to-man. Well, in that set, he's got to play man-to-man. So he just took advantage of the big open hole. They knew exactly where they were going because as soon as Edwards caught that ball, he fired it right out there, right on the money. Really nothing could do. So really good play, really good concept. And he'd seen that. He probably saw that in the jet sweep early on when Wilson ran the jet sweep. He probably saw how they were playing it and said, man, we got a big gap right there. Let's get after this.
Let's take a timeout if we can. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. 7-6 our score. St. Augustine just scored, extra point away. It's but a player down on the field. Hard to tell who it is for Ponte Vedra. So many folks surrounding him. So we'll give you an update on that when we come back. Let's take a timeout here on ESPN 690. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week.
I think Carson Wentz is going to come back and have a resurgent year.
Are you not concerned at all with the lack of depth at quarterback position? They had to rely a lot on Nick Foles. Carson Wentz gets hurt every year.
Not every year.
Golic and Wingo, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 690.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Florida. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Florida's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
Golic and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Well, hey, it's Mike Golic, and want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works.
What better way could you spend your Friday morning? Take your time, we'll wait. Well, looks like we'll be seeing you at Intuition Aleworks. Everyone's invited, but only a few will get the VIP treatment.
To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
The ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week. Every Friday, hear a local high school football play-by-play.
4th and goal for the win. And Bates keeps it. Now he cuts inside. He flips into the end zone. And the Lee Generals walk it off in the backyard.
Wow.
Unbelievable football game. Bates in at quarterback, and he wins it for Lee.
You can hear the games by listening in your car to ESPN 690 or find the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Just search ESPN 690 Jax.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome back to Ponte Vedra High School. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, 7-6 our score. The Sharks lead St. Augustine. The Yellow Jackets just scored a touchdown, awaiting the extra point, and appreciate the patience on the long commercial break. But young man's still down on the goal line, and they do have the stretcher out on the field. A lot of folks attending to him. The good news here is at least we're getting word, and we still can't see a number, so I don't want to say a young man's name without that. But his mom was down on the field. She just came back over to the Ponte Vedra High School side of the field in the bleachers and shared some good news. So there were folks here on the Sharks sideline and bleachers that were applauding. So I think overall, young man seems to be okay, but a lot of precautionary measures being taken at the moment with the trainers and really now the fire and rescue team for here in St. Johns County.
Yeah,
and with that neck, and they said that's what she indicated, I think, from the message that we got, that just being really safe with that neck. You've been a part of this a long time. You've seen, from stingers to potential neck injuries, and there's scary moments when you're looking at them right here. We just keep our fingers crossed that this is all just for precautionary reasons, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Coaches, both sides, both Coach Braddock's out for the PV young man, and Coach DeCero is out. And, in this kind of situation, you want the well-being of the kid to be the number one thing. So you want to get out there and make sure his eyes are open, his limbs are moving, and everything's good. And it looks like we're getting all that, but they always take the precaution now. Get him up on the board, get him in, and get him checked out, especially anything with the neck and everything. So real good work. Team was out fast. Trainers were out fast. They got the rescue out and the transportation people out, and they got him strapped on the backboard, put him on the thing, and hopefully he'll be okay. And, again, sort of started out, though, Brent, what we thought it was going to be pretty exciting game.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good game. Once we get back to action, and really all the thoughts right now are with this young man. And again, there's so many folks down there, it's hard to tell. We've been told a number. We think it's a number, but again, I don't want to say that until we know for sure. So we'll relay the name as soon as we can confirm the number. You can hear a pin drop here at St. Johns County and Ponte Vedra High School right now. We have probably more than 5,000 people here, and it's silent. So we continue to do that. The Ponte Vedra kids in fact, I think it was R.J. Glod just pulled up the entire sideline, and they're saying a quick prayer. The defensive players did that moments ago in the end zone. We're going on probably 7 or 8, 9 minutes now down near the goal line. What I could not tell on the play, Coach, this was a touchdown play. To McDowell, and it was a relatively easy play. There wasn't a big collision down the sideline that I saw, so I'm not really sure what happened here on the play, and maybe folks can tell on the video feed because we do have that on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. But we're getting a little bit of a look at it now, and it does look, it's really just kind of an innocent play from up here. And it sure looks like there's, someone lost, kind of rolled and got caught, almost like, remember Jeff Swaim when he got hit for the Jags a couple weeks ago, and everything just gets kind of knocked out and goes limp. I think that could be kind of from our visual of it. But again, I don't want to guess.
Yeah,
I don't want to guess here, and we'll get word to you as soon as we can. Very quiet here. And now a challenge, I think, for both of these coaches, too, because this is obviously a teammate, classmate. A lot of people here at Ponte Vedra High School, close-knit group, like all football teams, like all communities. And we see this kind of in the NFL, and they know it's part of the NFL,
right.
It's part of football. A little different at the high school level.
Yeah.
You know, we don't see a lot of this where guys go down for this length of time. And so now it's up to Jeff DeSandro, the head coach of Ponte, to kind of keep his team informed and keep everything in perspective. And also Brian Braddock will have to do the same for St. Augustine, as it remains very quiet here at Ponte Vedra High School.
Yeah, again, the like you said, real close-knit group of kids. You could tell by the way they were responding, whether with each other, especially the seniors. You know, that group, there was senior night tonight. There's 22 of them out there getting introduced at the beginning. You know, so real tight group of kids, community and everything. When the mother came up, she made tell everybody, hey, he's going to be okay, blah, 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 and everybody cheered. And, you know, but again, still scary because we got to get him out. We got to get him up in the ambulance. You know, we got to get him off and everything.
Some fire and fire trucks and more rescue and ambulance on the way here. And we already have an ambulance on site, but they will now make their way here to Ponte Vedra. So let's do this, Kuz, back there in the studio. Let's take another timeout as we continue to give this situation a little bit of time and see exactly what's happening with that young man for Ponte Vedra High School. Just to update you, 7-6 is our score. Not the important thing at the moment here, this district championship game in 3-6A. Everybody concerned for a player down for Ponte Vedra near the goal line. It's been the case for the last 10 minutes or so. We'll update you on the other side of this. Appreciate you hanging out with us at Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Get your Florida Georgia weekend started with Golic and Wingo live in Jacksonville Friday, November 1st at Intuition Ale Works on Bay Street. Come join us for our live show from 6 to 10, where you can hear our show live on ESPN Jacksonville 690. Golic and Wingo live from Intuition Ale Works, November 1st, 6 through 10.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Thank you for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Everyone is loving our in-depth coverage of the Jaguars, the NFL, and all things sports. Another thing our listeners will love, your business. Let's work together and get you on the fastest growing sports station in Northeast Florida. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 904-245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker's Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker's Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Florida's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Florida. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
What's good, Stephen A?
Suddenly we look at those Cowboys. Dak Prescott, not looking too smart right now that you didn't sign that extension. I reckon somebody need to tell Dak Prescott, hey, wait a minute there, buddy. You might want to sign that contract extension as opposed to being focused on setting the market. You might want to take a couple of $1 million less. I'm wondering about those Cowboys right now. Are you okay?
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.
Hello. It's me, the designer jeans in your closet. The back of your closet. What am I doing here? Would you keep caviar in the back of your fridge with the ketchup and old milk? Yeah, I don't think so. So what happened to us? I mean, have you seen my label? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Sure, I never really fit you quite right, and one of my pockets is so small you can't even squeeze your hand into it. But it's all about the look, and I look good. I need to get back out on the scene so I can be seen. You know, going to fancy parties, getting expensive iced coffees, Sunday fun days, okay? So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Today we decided to walk to school. At the corner, we waved to cross the street. The stoplight counted down. 15, 41, 31, 13. We took a left on Garden Street. Loud music was coming from a car.
Danny's a smart kid, but he gets so distracted.
There were so many other sounds, I didn't know what to focus on.
Danny, Earth to Danny. Suddenly he realized he forgot his homework again.
I left my homework on the table. At the school steps, we hugged goodbye. I really hope I don't have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds. And most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
Or if that resume was from someone who
worked 12-hour shifts at the recycling company with my dad, who's 72. That taught me a work ethic that I carry with me every day.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone.
Growing up where I did, a lot of things could have gotten in the way of my goals. But I learned to push through, and that's what I bring to work every day.
So maybe it's time we look beyond the resume and look to Grads of Life. Discover new ways to develop great talent that are so much more than what's on paper at gradsoflife.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
No doubt a scary moment here at Ponte Vedra High School in this district championship game for the Sharks against St. Augustine. But good news, after about a 15-minute delay, and the young man that's been down on the field right near the goal line for Ponte Vedra is senior Tommy Zitello, defensive back and receiver, and he just got put on the stretcher. He's been conscious. His mom had given a pretty good update to the sideline. That was a long time ago, though, and then that delay continued, so it even worried us up here if there was more to it. But I think overall, I mean, so much of that was precautious. Mom had given a thumbs up to the crowd here at Ponte Vedra, and obviously everybody knows everybody here on this sideline. And we also saw a video of him moving his extremities.
Right.
So that's good. And he was conscious. But I think they were just taking every precautionary measure possible. We saw multiple fire trucks and ambulances that have arrived at Ponte Vedra High School, though, in this last 15 minutes. So after this delay, the officials will now allow both teams to warm up and stretch a little bit. Right now it's a 7-6 football game, 2:29 to go in the first quarter. Ponte Vedra leads by a point. We are still awaiting the extra point because the injury to Zitello happened during the touchdown play to McDowell. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan, Action Sports Jax, Game of the Week on ESPN 690. And appreciate your patience and a lot of the commercial breaks, but that was a hefty delay. And you know what? That's okay. All about the young man, the senior for Ponte Vedra, the defensive back wide receiver, and hopefully he is okay. The good news there, Coach, just like we see a lot of times in college football and NFL when we have these scary moments, first of all, the extremities. First of all, really consciousness.
Right.
Secondly, the extremities moving. In fact, when he was on the stretcher, he put his hand up and waved to the crowd.
That's a positive.
So all positive signs there. We hope. Thoughts and prayers, obviously, with the Zitello family. And we'll update you as soon as we know more, if we know more, on his status. Tough one.
Yeah.
Now what do you do? I mean, you've coached a lot of this, right? Now what do you do with your football team?
Well, you just got to get them up, get them moving around and get ready to play. I mean, the kids, they're going to play hard. The St. Augustine kids, they're going to get stretched. They're going to go back and play. And, they get hurt. Kids get hurt in football. And that's the thing that when I had talked to Coach DeSandro yesterday, I always ask him, like defensively, who's the one guy, the unsung hero guy, the guy that's sort of the glue guy, keeps everything together. And he said, man, Tommy Zitello, we cannot afford to lose him. He's like the field general back there in the secondary. So that's another thing that's going to change now. So now you've got your kicker out. You've got your defensive stalwart, the guy that gets everybody lined up, your inspirational leader. He gets out in there. Now, how are they going to respond? How are the kids going to respond as a group? I think they're going to respond fine. From what I've seen so far, this group and knowing this community and everything, I think these kids are going to be fired up, ready to go and try to win this one for Tommy.
Hey, just being as real as we can. I mean, that was a scary scene
yes,
here.
Sir.
I mean, we've been around high school football. You've been around, obviously, for 3 decades. I've been around it enough to know. I mean, you sometimes see these injuries, but it's usually pretty quick. Put on the stretcher, maybe in the ambulance, and then usually get a thumbs up, and everything's precautionary. This one was about as long as I've seen. Although I will tell you, just to reset it a little bit, the play happened right at the goal line. It looks like on replay, without speculating too much, might have been knocked unconscious and kind of fell to the ground as he hit McDowell's leg into the end zone. I think that's kind of what we could tell.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
And so obviously the head area involved. the one good news, first mom in the first couple of minutes had gone down there. She came back and reported pretty positive report from everybody. The other thing is there were a lot of people down there, but we never saw panic.
No.
We never saw anybody kind of
running
out of control.
around like, hey, we got to get this, we got to go type of thing. No,
so
I didn't see that.
That was good. They just used a lot of caution and patience. And, again, all thoughts with Tommy Zatello. And now we're about ready to continue this football game. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. 2:29 to go in the first. It's 7-6. That play, there was a touchdown that happened on that play. St. Augustine responded. They had a short field after the poor punt. They score with McDowell. And now we will attempt an extra point to tie the football game up when we get back to live action.
And don't forget, there was a penalty, too, at the end of the play in the end zone, too.
So that
should be assessed on the kickoff. So
that was against Ponte Vedra.
Right. So that's it. So we got the extra point, and then we're going to get back on and play this thing. Let's go. We don't need halftime now. We just had it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did just have it.
But, again, that was a really good ball that Sammy Edwards threw to McDowell. And just sort of took what they gave him. And again, that's really good job by him. And we'll see what goes on, who the backup comes in for Zatello. We'll keep an eye on that and how he plays through the game. But, again, real senior-heavy group of kids on that Ponte Vedra defense.
So here we go. We're getting back into live action. The extra point to tie this game up in a district championship game in 3-6A. The snap's good. The hold's good. We got a flag down. There'll be no play, even though the kick was good. So we'll do it all again. And obviously, we're just trying to get back into this football game after a hefty delay. Offsides on Ponte Vedra. I guess the only thing that could change here, you could go for two with the ball moved up a little bit closer if Brian Braddock wants to do it. But I don't think he has any plans to.
No, I don't think so. So that's going to be Doherty kicking. He handles the kickoff. He's 30 of 35 on extra points and 2 for 2 on field goals today. So he doesn't handle the kickoffs, though.
So here we go again. Extra point to tie it up early in this one, the first quarter of a district championship game. Snap, the hold, the kick, and another flag. No, that wasn't a flag. That was a piece of paper.
We've had those games where we had a flag and another flag. So
it was a piece of paper in my eyes. By the way, the extra point was good, but the line side, I mean, there was a piece of paper flying in the air where you'd think a flag would have been tossed.
Right, exactly. So we're 7-7 tied up, 2:29
I got to get back into this thing too, I guess. We're all tied up. 2:29 to go. Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Listen, I believe Brett Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, here at Ponte Vedra High School in a fantastic football game. But when you have a delay like that, you talk about Tommy Zatello, I think it affects both teams.
Oh, I think it does.
And I think it's hard. I mean, I get it. It happens. There are injuries that happen. You got to move on. You got to go play. You got to go play for him if you're Ponte Vedra. You got to find a way to create some energy if you're St. Augustine. Now you have a little momentum. And they will kick off, by the way, from the Ponte Vedra 45 because of that penalty. I'm just saying I think that's a hard thing to do after what we just saw.
Well, because you're so jacked up and everything, and it's already a big game, and now you've come to score to go to tie, and now you got a 15-minute break. So we'll see how it affects them.
Do you do an onside kick here with a good field position? They don't. They decide to kick in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. That's a tough call, right? I mean, a 15-yard penalty, the ball's on the 45 of Ponte Vedra. And you
kick it in the end zone and put it on the 20.
I mean, but you could kick an onside kick and put it on like the 30.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you.
So it's a tough call.
No, it depends on. I think it's where you're at in the game and what you think. They did come out and have a real good stop on defense. So you got your defense. And again, part of their strength defensively, they do a really good job with their front seven guys. So I like the movement. He'll start moving, Coach Braddock. They'll start moving and twisting their guys. Try to create those mismatch lanes and get the quarterback read stuff confusing.
Okay, so here we go for Ponte Vedra. They get a possession now, and they get their chance to respond after St. Augustine just tied it up. 7-7 is our score. Glod hands off to Stevens. Has a hole right up the gut and across the 25-yard line. Nice little first down run by Mikey Stevens.
Yeah, good little run in there. The thing about Mikey, too, is he's a good, tough inside runner. Not real big. And I think he gets up in there and hides behind those offensive linemen, hits his crease and hits it.
So good gain of about 8. Brings up second and a couple. Fake the handoff. Glod now looks, has a receiver. Big hit,
nice
and the
job.
ball broken up. Clean hit, but a big hit. And that's incomplete.
Yeah, that's a really good job by the outside linebacker. Did a good job keeping his head out. Laid a big physical, didn't lunge, big physical hit right across the bow. Really good job there by number 32.
So it brings up a 3rd and 2 after the incomplete pass on a pretty well-designed play. Just a nice breakup by St. Augustine. Claude back there with Stevens in the backfield. He hands to him, and St. Augustine with good penetration. I don't think he got there, Coach. On a 3rd and 2 up the middle, St. Augustine's defense says, no way. Now will they go for it on 4th and a yard?
Looks like they're bringing in a little jumbo package right there. Probably get a little, try to draw them off sides in this pack. Really nice job there by the defensive line. St. Augustine, those inside guys. Really good job. 54's in there, knocking it around, getting some good push inside. Raiden Ortez Medea, real good push inside. They might have to get a timeout here now. Taking a lot of time to get the formation and get the grouping, personnel grouping. They're going to quick kick here. That's a penalty.
They might have a false start here as they line up to go on 4th and 1. It looked like Claude was going back to kick it away.
Yes.
And then Coach DeSandro called the timeout anyway before the penalty. So it's still 4th and 1 and 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Tied at 7 in our Action Sports Jacks game of the week. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, and Claude has punted about 9 times this year. He only has averaged about 25 yards a punt. So you're not getting great field position on there. So they have got, from what I had seen him, he's punted, 7 times this year for 30 yards a punt. But I think they called timeout. That took a long time to get that play in, get the formational, get the groupings and stuff in. Took a very long time. So that's a good call by Coach DeSandro. And we're going to see what's he going to do, if he's going to go for it or not. Little cat and mouse here, Brent.
I think it's a little early to go for it. With your defense as strong as it is, you just gave up great field position, right? On the it was a 33-yard touchdown drive because of a poor punt. Don't you think you almost have to kick this away? I mean, a yard is a yard.
Right.
And I like the aggressive nature. And I think they're going to bring that offense back on the field.
Bringing it out. Similar formation in what they were in.
So here we go on 4th and 1 from their own 29. Now they are going to go back in that same formation to kick it. It'll be Glod. See if he gets it away. Almost gets the up back.
Bad punt. Gonna back roll.
Out at the 47-yard line, it lands. Not a good kick.
Nope.
And it just sat right there. So once again, St. Augustine, last possession got it at the 33-yard line of Ponte Vedra. They'll get this one about the 48-yard line of Ponte Vedra, so they start in great shape, looking to take the first lead of the game.
Yeah, again, and we've got that wind, too, sort of that crosswind and stuff, and they don't want to kick the ball deep to McDowell. So, and the last guy punted 7 yards, so, I don't know. I'm okay with that. They tried to draw him off, didn't get it, and then they went with the quick kick.
So here we go, St. Augustine from the 48. They hand it up the middle, and it looks like Johnson has nowhere to go. Right back to the line of scrimmage. Ponte Vedra's defense on the interior, spectacular.
Yeah, really good job by the inside guys and the linebackers in there, really closing the gaps in a hurry. Little wrapped pull play, but nowhere to go inside. Again, Johnson's in at the running back spot.
Might have lost a half a yard on the play.
Justice Johnson's been in.
So second and let's call it 11. Back to the 49-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left for St. Augustine. Sammy Edwards rolls right, looking for a receiver past the first down marker on the numbers and can't get it. Incomplete, so brings up 3rd and long for St. Augustine to try to keep this good field position alive.
Yeah, it looked like Daquan Stanley ran a good route, just couldn't get out of his break. It sort of slipped coming out of his break. Good call, good throw. He just fell down and couldn't get to the ball once he got back up.
Stanley will once again be set to the right. He's one of the dangerous players for St. Augustine. So is McDowell, already has a touchdown catch. And he will split out to the left side. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 3rd and 11. Johnson goes in motion. And now being flushed out of the pocket is Edwards, and he falls down and throws it incomplete. and really nothing doing. Nice call by the Ponte Vedra defense as they dial up the blitz, and it works.
Yeah, did a good job. Got good pressure. Sanders was in there, linebacker.
We do have a late flag that came down, Coach, right around the midfield, and it surely looked like it was after the play.
Now, I didn't see that. Oh, I know what crew we got too. So, I think it. I don't know what they're calling here, but
Jeff Sandros standing at midfield with one of the officials. Now we call personal foul on Ponte Vedra.
Wow.
And that was not roughing the passer.
No,
It was a personal foul. The ball skipped to the receiver, so it was incomplete, but I think there was a little extracurricular right there, and they called Ponte Vedra for it. Usually the second guy in.
No, always the second guy. Again, go back. Sanders did a nice job. They ran a little delayed blitz on here for him on that last play. They were trying to set that little read that outside linebacker off the motion stuff, so did a good job getting pressure on him and making that ball get thrown away, but didn't quite see that penalty. But that'll be the second big personal foul right there for Ponte Vedra right now. So,
wow, that's a helper and a half right there. Gets the ball all the way down to the 34-yard line. St. Augustine would have to punt. Instead, the drive stays alive, and now they have a chance to drive down and take the lead here. Late in the first quarter, just 19 seconds to go. We're tied up at 7 here at Ponte Vedra High School. District 3-6A championship on the line for St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra. Shotgun snap. Fake the handoff, a little roll left, and dump pass inside the 30, now inside the 25. And that was Johnson out of the backfield. Nifty little pass and catch. Easy play, Coach.
Yeah, real easy. Again, getting them out the back door off of it. Coming out, faking the little drone. They've run it on first down every time except that time. Getting a little cut. They're really trying to keep eyes on McDowell. Looks like they're trying to double him. They're trying to get a guy up underneath and a guy over the top.
Picked up 10 yards and a first down, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. We're all tied up after the first 12 minutes. It was a long one because of the injury to Tommy Zatello. And again, thoughts with the senior from Ponte Vedra. Hope he's okay. We hope to give you an update a little bit later on in the broadcast. When we come back, second quarter action, St. Augustine driving, district championship on the line. It's our Action Sports Shacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Action Sports Shacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. We're all tied up at 7. St. Augustine driving on 1st and 10 from the 24. They hand it to the back in the near sideline, across the 20, down to the 15, and inside that 13-yard line, and another good pickup on first down. That'll be another first down for the Yellow Jackets as the drive finds some rhythm.
Yeah, again, Wilson, change of pace back, a little shiftiness in that. Like I said, they'll bring Johnson in, get him the ball a few times, get him out of the backfield, bring Wilson in. Wilson's a little bit shifty, maybe a little foot speed faster. Good quickness in there, good change of pace, what they're doing offensively right now.
So spotted at the 13-yard line, first down and 10, 11:51 now to go in the first half, tied at 7. Shotgun snap, they hand to Wilson again up the middle. He's hitting the backfield, goes forward a little bit, maybe a yard on the play, but good disruption by the Sharks defense.
Yeah, 57's in there, really getting in there, getting some good push from the inside. Again, rotate some good guys in, trying to keep them fresh as the game goes on. But the inside for PV is doing a really good job.
So it brings up a
third down. Should be third down,
should
right?
Be second.
Second down, yeah.
Yeah, they got fourth down over there, but it's
like,
second down and 9, just inside the 13. Maybe we'll call it the 12-yard line. 2 receivers left. Opening minute of the second quarter. They hand to Wilson. He's got a little bit of a hole inside the 10, now down to the 5 and the 4, and it's close to another first down for St. Augustine. They might be looking at first and goal.
Yeah, again, they gave him a little overset. They got the tight end over, and they got him covered up on that side. And Ponte Vedra didn't get an adjustment. They played a 9 and a 3 to that side with the sniffer too. So, again, you're going to get the same play right here. See if they get any kind of adjustment on this.
So here we go. First down and goal inside the 5-yard line. The snap, the give to Wilson off the left side and into the end zone. That was too easy. Good blocking on the left side by the Yellow Jackets. And St. Augustine takes the lead on the road in the district championship game.
Yeah, real good job by the offensive line. The tight end in there, number 92, getting in there, getting some push, getting it sort of washed down. But again, they're getting a tight end overset, so the strength and the 2 wideouts are all on the same side. And PV has not adjusted. The outside linebacker goes out to number 2. The defensive end is staying in a 7 technique, and there's no force player out there. They came back-to-back on that for runs.
Here's the extra point, the snap, the hold, the kick. All good. And it's 14-7. 10:45 to go in the first half. St. Augustine now has scored 14 unanswered and given field position and a couple of helpful penalties to boot.
Yes. I think the one penalty during the change of the quarter, Coach Sandra was giving the official a really hard time about that call. Out of the blue like that. So, of course, it's on the far other side, and you can't talk to that guy, so you don't know what he saw or what he said he saw or anything like that. But really nice drive there. Short field, 48-yarders, but got it down, stuck the points. But I think they found something there, Brent, getting in that tight end overset. I don't know if they've done that previously, but PV had no answer for that. So it looks like we're going to get got to get somebody. Number 9's got to get out there on kickoff return team. Get things going out here. Really good crowd too tonight.
Awesome
Right?
crowd.
Yeah,
Over
really
5,000 they expected. No surprise. And obviously the air taken out of the balloon a little bit with the injury to Tommy Zatello in the first quarter. And he's obviously been taken to the emergency room or local hospital. We'll try to get an update on that. Long delay in the first quarter of this football game with that injury. Did give a thumbs up coming off the field. The kick for St. Augustine, left to right, taken around the 6-yard line, now across the 10-15. Now going outside to the field, 23-yard line,
tackle.
and a nice open field tackle on the far side of the football field, and not much doing in the return game.
Yeah, that's Blanco kicking off, also starting wide out. Nice kick down about the 7-yard line. Good job of covering. Again, PV got a long field to go, and see how they're going to answer this. Again, not a lot of pressure on them. They've moved the ball. They've stalled the last couple times. I don't know if they have a lot of confidence in their kicking game right now, but they need to get back and do what they did on the first drive, mix the run in there with the little RPO stuff.
A breezy evening in St. Johns County, but a beautiful one. Not too much wind, just enough of it to make it comfortable in late October for a district championship game between St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra. 2 receivers to the left. R.J. Glod back there in the shotgun. Mikey Stevens been doing most of the work back there on the ground, and he's been doing a nice job first down. A nice handful of yards there up the middle, just patient running, and it'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, a little 12 personnel when then they move this, so they line up in 2 tights, and then they step the one tight end off and bring him over in motion, and getting sort of the same formation St. Augustine was in that they scored on. So, again, just sort of doing what they do.
So 2nd and 5. Hand off to Stevens again, and this time not much doing.
Inside.
Right at the line, he's met.
Boy, he runs hard inside for a little guy.
Keeps those feet moving. Yeah, Jeff DeSandro said, he's like, hey, everybody's in the spread now. Everybody does, everybody plays that. But it still comes back to fundamental football. Run the football, stop the run, don't turn it over. And that's what he continues to be all about, especially with the senior team. They understand that. They buy into it. Nothing too flashy. Just try to be good fundamental football. And, it's got them to the district championship game, and they're going to stick with it.
Yeah, and again, they lean on you, and they don't usually beat themselves.
3rd and call it 6 now from their own 27-yard line. They send a man in motion. Glod now fakes the handoff, rolls right, has some room to run, eludes a tackler across the 30, close to the first down, but I don't think he got there. As he beat the first guy but couldn't beat the help from St. Augustine. And it once again brings up a 4th and short and a decision for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, so they tried to run that underplay, that little zone read with the pole, and he pulled it. The defensive end just drilled the under guy, wouldn't let him get out and escape. So when Gould got out there, didn't have anybody to throw to, took off and ran.
4th and 1 from their own 33. Will they go for it here or try to draw them off sides and punt it away like they did last time? And here we go. Glod will do that. McDowell will go back and get it. It's a line drive low punt. McDowell will have a chance. He fumbles the football, though, and now the ball's loose, and Ponte Vedra's got it.
Yep.
It was one of those
play.
hops. Almost looked like an onside kick type, From a description standpoint, it was one of those in-betweeners. McDowell, you like him with his hands on the football, but he just couldn't grab the football. Ponte Vedra comes away with it, and now that turns into like a big play on offense.
Yeah, and so on the kick, it was one of those sort of rugby scrum rolling. But when it takes that one hop and it comes to the second hop, you either got to get away. You got to get away. If you can't get it off the first hop, you got to get away from it. It can do too many things.
Sometimes when it kicks so bad, it's good.
Yes.
So on the 42-yard line at St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra's offense stays on the field. Wide
That's
open
illegal.
Receiver down the middle of the field. It's caught at the 25-yard line and down to the 20 as now Ponte Vedra gets going. What did you see?
I thought they covered the wide out, the tight end up on this side. So I thought it was a flag. Yeah, I thought they had tight end and the wide out covered because they've been in the 2 tight set. I thought this kid right here, 5, was up on the line.
Well, if they did, they got away with it. Jacob Greer on the big catch down to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 for Ponte Vedra. And now we've got a false start procedure for Ponte Vedra. So the penalties have been numerous for the Sharks and costly at times. So they just got away with a turnover on a punt return. Got the football back. And then a big play to Greer. And now they'll be set up with a 1st and 15 from the St. Augustine 26. 8:09 to go in the first half. 14-7, St. Augustine in the lead. They've scored 14 unanswered to take the lead in the District 3 6A championship game. Man in motion. They fake the handoff. Glod will keep it himself. Design run. And that field does look a bit slippery because he loses his footing. Maybe picks up 3 yards, but that was it.
Either lost his footing or saw 32 coming to lay the boom again and so said, let me get down on that.
So you're telling me he might have been just smart.
Yeah, because, again, that was 32 who had the big vicious hit, Ethan Lyles, coming in there. And he might have just saw him coming and said, hey, let me get down on this one.
Not a bad idea. Brings up a 2nd down and 13 from the 23-yard line of St. Augustine. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. The snap out of the shotgun. Glod looks down the middle of the field, right down the seam. He's got a man, right catch into the end zone. And is that a touchdown or they call it down at the 1?
They call him down at the 1.
What a spectacular catch. Bobbled, juggled, but wide open as that seam continues to be open for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, if he catches it clean on the first time, he sort of bobbled it and then caught it and went down. If he catches it clean on the first one, he's in on the score.
So it brings up 1st and goal, and that'll be wherever they spot it. Ponte Vedra folks thought they were in, but no go.
Again, just
second down and goal from the 1.
Just a little power. Just running power offset power. And again, they're sort of just man on man right here. See what we get. We'll get a little boot off this, I believe. We'll get a little pull off this. Try to get somebody out in the flat.
Here we go, 2nd down from the 1. Trying to tie the game up, and they will tie the game up. That's a touchdown for Stevens. He's into the end zone, and it's 14-13.
That's a really good job by the running back there. As he gave him the ball and he said it, he went right downhill and he sort of rode the wave around the edge. So it looked like he was pounding it down inside, which sucked the St. Augustine guys in, and he just rode the wave around the edge and get the touchdown. That was a really good run, real patient run for him.
So an extra point away from tying the football game up. Here at a district championship game, the snap holds good, the kick is up, and it's a good one too, and no doubter hits the rooftop of the concession stand, and it's 14-14 here at Ponte Vedra High School in St. Johns County. Our Action Sports Shacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. 6.5 to play in the first half, and just what we thought.
This is what we thought. They said it was going to be a good, close one. Up and down, up and down. I tell you, though, that it's sort of funny, Brett, though. The turnover off the kick, or PV does nothing, all of a sudden that gives them life to go. And then earlier it was the bad shank punt for St. Augustine that sort of gave them a little life to get them going. So right now the kicking game has been huge on both sides. Both sides helping the other team. So, again, they've got to get those shored up, and that's a mistake McDowell probably wish he could get back, but wait for the Sharks to take advantage of it, get back going and everything like that.
Yeah, and both teams have taken advantage of the gifts.
Yes.
You know, and that's what you're supposed to do. And, hey, sometimes it's whoever plays cleaner football, and maybe it's always whoever plays cleaner football that comes away with the win, especially in these big games. 14-14 is our score. 6:35 to go in the first half. Our Action Sports Shacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Happy to be here at Ponte Vedra High School. Excellent hosts. We hosted our afternoon show with Austin Lane and myself from 3 to 6 today, and beautiful day. They were awesome to us. Heck, Coach, we even had a cooler full of Diet Pepsi and water.
Man, look at that. You guys were there. When you got here, you're all set up and everything like that.
Oh, man, we had a tent. We had everything.
Austin, I was just glad you got him out of the studio. Let him come out every once in a while.
Here's the deal. I mean, he was going to work out on the beach.
Oh,
so
I got you.
Worked out. He was going to fight somebody, like in a good way. Getting ready for a big battle. All right, so here we go. Kickoff for Ponte Vedra upcoming. The ball's on the 40-yard line, as it always is for kickoffs, unless there's a penalty. Right to left. Good kick. Down to the 3-yard line. Oh. And a slip down by St. Augustine at the 2-3-yard line. And wow, what a break. What a break for Ponte Vedra. As once the knee goes down, the player's down.
Yeah, that was Stanley, Daquan Stanley. And I'll tell you, I think he was going to get a good return because it looked like they sort of out-kicked. He kicked that deep to the 2, and I think he got it and was going to take off and be up the crease there, but didn't quite happen. It's a long field here for St. Augustine.
Yeah, that's a heck of a break. I mean, we've seen players slipping down, and we're out on the field. The field's fine. We've had some rain this week in St. Johns County, but nothing crazy. Still enough to kind of soften the field.
It's a timeout break, a water break.
We got a water break.
Yep.
Let's take a break. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Our game of the week continues right after this. It's 14-14. St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra in St. Johns County for a district championship.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CRV, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
A big sequence upcoming for St. Augustine. Back at their own 2-yard line to start this drive when the kickoff was caught around there, and then Stanley slipped. So here we go, out of their own end zone. Snap and a handoff across the 5-yard line right up the middle. So a little more breathing room and a pretty good gain on first down. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. Our Action Sports Shacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Would you believe we're in week number 10 of the high school season? Beautiful night here at Ponte Vedra High School and a big game. Two good programs playing for a district championship. 6 minutes to play in the first half, and we're all tied up at 14. Ball will be on the 6-yard line. 2nd and 4. Receivers each side. Johnson in the backfield with Edwards. He gets the handoff, bounces left, has a little room across the 10, and now 20, 25, out to the 30 and out of bounds. A big run, and now they are out of the shadow of their own goal line after a big run by Justice Johnson.
It's a really good job up there blocking. They brought the tight end in again. They're not in the overset, but they're just running power, and they're doing a good job of bouncing that in there. Back's done a nice job of being patient, both backs on both sides, and then just hitting it and following the pulling guard around the edge. Really good positive play right there.
And Freddie Wilson will spell Johnson now. First down out at the 30-yard line. Two receivers right. Sammy Edwards hasn't done too much in the passing game, but hasn't really needed to. He did throw a touchdown pass to McDowell for the first score for St. Augustine. 1st and 10, 5:51 to go in the half. Takes a snap, rolls right, looks down the field, has a receiver, and it's dropped around the 47-yard line. As that play was set up nice, but Jose Blanco could not reel it in. Maybe thrown a bit behind him, but he'd like that one back.
Yeah, that's a really good combination of the roll pass. It's a little 5-yard out with about a 12-yard out behind it, and it's an easy read. Corner jumps, it's wide open. Safety can't get there, and they roll to it so it doesn't get the pressure on them right there. Really nice job. Concept design, they just got to catch that ball.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 30. Receiver left, one right. Wilson in the backfield with Edwards. Right off his right hip. Now he moves to the left hip of Edwards. Here's a snap. Quick throw out to the right side. Got a receiver, Stanley. Stanley across the 40.
He's
midfield. Can he outrun everybody? Break a tackle down to the 45-30. Now inside the 25 and carrying Ponte Vedra tacklers. Sharks did a nice job catching up with Stanley, but that's after a big gain of 46 yards.
See, I like what they did, too. They moved the back to the other side, a little eye candy, messing with it so that they take their eye, and it was just a little simple 5-yard out. Nice, easy throw and catch. And, again, he's got wheels. He caught the ball in the open field, got to turn it up, split a guy. Really nice play.
When Brian Braddock called his team dangerous, well, that's what he was talking about. That was the good dangerous, right?
Yes. The last two plays have been good dangerous.
First down from the 22-yard line of Ponte Vedra. The handoff up the middle. Johnson will take it inside the 20 just to gain to 3 yards. Bring up 2nd and 7. And once again, the Yellow Jackets driving.
Yeah, again, they've just gotten that overset, tight end overset right there. We used to call that a little knoll set. We get in the overset, and they pounded it more down inside where they've been working off tackle. So I look for them again to bring that ball and get it out, get it out off the tight end's butt outside.
Blanco and McDowell split to the left. Johnson in the backfield off the left hip of Edwards. Edwards rolls left, looks downfield, doesn't have anybody. Now might keep it inside the 20 to the 15 and out of bounds right around the first down marker on the far side of the field. We'll see where the officials spot it. This will be close to a first down.
Yeah, good rollout concept. Again, they just changed the routes that time. This time they ran a corner with a little whip route, little slant, and then back out. They had it covered good, but again, they didn't have any force, so they get on the edge, and he'd be able to move, pick up a good 8-yard gain, so 3rd and 1.
Yeah, good decision-making because covered, so keep it running. They call it a 3rd and 1, close to a first down. Here's the snap. They give it to Wilson. Wilson cuts back up the middle, down to the 5, and into the end zone for a touchdown if they give it to him. And Freddie Wilson for St. Augustine is in, and the Yellow Jackets are back in the lead.
Yeah, that's a really good explosion. He sort of just stayed tight in there and saw it, and you could see the explosion from Wilson. He stuck his foot in and just sort of split everybody, got in the end zone. Really 98-yard drive there. St. Augustine answers the touchdown.
I mean, we wondered about that one. It could have been a big sequence, and what a response for St. Augustine. Coming off their own goal line at the 2. They go 98 yards with not a lot of friction.
No, not at all. And I'll tell you what's impressive is they did it with both. They did a little run pass, sort of kept them balanced on the run pass. They throw it enough to keep you honest.
20-14, 4.5 to go in the first half. Now the extra point awaits. Might have false started.
The kicker.
See it. I think a kicker false started, but no flag. The kick's up and good. All right. Can the kicker move first?
The kicker cannot. If he's moving forward before the ball snap, that's a penalty.
Because he might have taken a step and a half.
He was a little excited. I thought he was going to kick the tee before the ball got there.
Well, here's the thing about it. That throws off your rhythm sometimes, and you're still able to knock it through. So it's good. 21-14. St. Augustine takes the lead here on the road, and we go back and forth. We were expecting a good one, and we've got a good one so far with 4.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week is not only our Game of the Week on ESPN 690 and the Friday Night Blitz later tonight, but it's also for a district championship. So this is a big
little added
deal.
extra.
Hey, because you want to host a playoff game too, right, in a couple of weeks.
Well, that's the most important thing, too, in the first round, is being able to host in the first round. So that's the most important thing, I think. Both these teams want to go. St. Augustine wants to get back and host when they were on the road first round last year, got knocked out. So they want to be able to host to be ready to go, avoid the long trip to the Panhandle, because that's where I think this region matches, too. And that's always been a thorn in the side of the Duval schools and the St. John school going to the Panhandle.
That's a nice 5-hour drive.
Yep.
Left to right, St. Augustine set the kickoff, and they do just that. Down to the 5-yard line, the ball lands and will trickle into the end zone.
He better get on that.
I mean, that was close, Coach.
He sort of let it go.
Yeah, Keaton Thomas down there.
Yeah, the way he kicked it, it didn't look like it might have kicked up and, sort of like when you're hitting your pitching wedge up there.
Mine, yes, you're right.
Kick it, not mine.
I mean, Coach, I got a little backward spin on that.
So if that ball has a backward spin, that could be disastrous. So you always got to pay attention. Don't take anything for granted with the oblong.
All good, though, for Ponte Vedra as they get the ball at the 20-yard line to start this possession. They trail by a touchdown. 21-14 our score. 4:30 to go in the first half.
So here's the Ponte Vedra's time to answer right now. Again, 4 minutes to go, so don't have to be in a lot of hurry. But again, they've done a good job. I tell you got to give your hats off to 53. He's playing O-line and D-line here for Ponte Vedra. Not a lot of their guys going both ways.
So from their own 20, Glod, hands off. It's to be Stevens up the middle. Only a couple of yards. Not much doing there. St. Augustine's defense in the interior is pretty good. 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, again, they're going to set something off, pull that, run the RPO off that. And, again, they're doing a good job of moving their formations and getting them lined up a little bit. So I'd like to see them get back in that 2 tight end set. That's been real positive for them tonight.
Second down and 7 from their own 23. 3 receivers right, now 1 comes back in motion. Shotgun snap, a roll to the left for Glod. Glod being chased, has a sling at sidearm, has a receiver. It's Thomas at the 32. Good for a first down on the near sideline. He had to change his arm slot throwing that football. Nice job by the quarterback, R.J. Glod.
Yeah, really good job right there. A good play, got out of the pocket a little bit, had a guy in his face, changed his arm slot, got a good route on the out route, sort of put the St. Augustine corner in a bind. He jumped the deep outside out route from number 2 instead of just sitting on that first one, but good job, first down.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Shotgun snap, 32-yard line, 1st and 10. Has a receiver at the 45. It's completed once again, and that's Noah Washington for another first down, or at least close to it for the Sharks.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him the first down. Again, really nice route, little head dip. It's just sort of sat down, found the hole in the zone. I look for St. Augustine to change it up a little bit in the secondary right here.
Keaton Thomas goes out to the right, trips to the left on the near side. Not a lot of field to work with. Snap to Glod. Glod rolls, finds some room,
post.
Goes long, deep down the field, jumped up and caught. Good reception at the 29-yard line, and it's another first down for Ponte Vedra. Alex Madsen ripping it down. He's had a couple of fantastic catches. He made the play down near the goal line as well to set up the last touchdown.
Right, good little play design. They've rolled a little bit and thrown it, and this time they roll and they throw it back a little bit with the trips into the boundary too. So really good play design right there.
Stevens in the backfield. Glod did the snap.
Screen.
Try to set up the screen. St. Augustine
got it. They read it. They couldn't get there.
And now this might be a touchdown. And it will be a touchdown into the end zone for Ponte Vedra. And another score from 28 yards out. Perfectly designed play. Looked like the Yellow Jackets might have had it, but they couldn't chase him down. That's a touchdown for the Sharks.
Yeah, good job by the defensive lineman for St. Augustine. He saw the screen and he went there. He just didn't have enough wheels to get to the back. That's a really good job by Maddox right there.
Yeah, they reward Madsen, Alex Madsen, with 3 catches. That one the touchdown, but 2 of the other ones were fantastic plays on the football, and they got it back to him for the 28-yard touchdown. We're an extra point away from being tied up. The snap, the hold, the kick with a little pressure didn't matter. It's good, and it's 21-21 here in St. Johns County.
That didn't take long.
2:32 to go in the first half.
So that's a good drive for them, too. They answered, came back about an 80-yard drive. St. Augustine has a 98-yard drive. We're getting everything tonight, Brent.
I love it.
We're getting everything.
Absolutely love it. I love everything about it other than the fact that Ponte Vedra will showcase a 33, a 43, and an 83, and they all look the same.
If one was like 6'2" or 6'5", and the other one was 5'10",
it would be
it'd be a little easier to see.
Yeah, that's right. And if the numbers would pop a little bit more, or maybe my eyes were a little better. How many times this year am I going to complain about my eyes? Maybe it's just
I don't know. It might be time.
I'm going to be held accountable here.
But it was I tell you what, really good play design. Really nice job what they've done offensively here. Really good job. Moving guys around, changing formations. They're just changing the formation and running very similar plays, just changing the formation, and they've got the St. Augustine secondary somewhat confused, I think.
Well, we've seen some high-scoring affairs in St. Johns County. I mean, every game Nice is a part of seems to go in the 50s, right? Creekside's had a couple of those. Bartram Trail beat St. Augustine 42-40. Well, here we are. We're on pace.
Yep.
2:32 to go in the first half, 21-21.
Oh, I like it.
A surprise
they're
one.
going to get it.
Great bounce, and Ponte Vedra has the football
great
inside
job.
the 40-yard line of St. Augustine. What a kick that was. Made a recovery for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, that was number 11.
Looks like Kyle Bondra comes away with it for Ponte Vedra. It was a beautiful kick. He took that extra bounce, and you kind of knew, Ponte Vedra might have this one. Jeff DeSandro says, let's roll the dice and get the momentum and keep the momentum,
back.
after the touchdown.
We're not going to stop them, so we might as well get the ball back and try to go.
Truly puts you in the psyche of the coaching staff, right? Almost like you have to steal a possession along the way. Well, there it is. Ponte Vedra just did it. And by the way, they stole a possession earlier on the fumble on the punt return by McDowell. So at the 40-yard line, Ponte Vedra's offense will stay on the football field. Shotgun, snap. Glad will run it down inside the 40, slides to about the 34-yard line. They'll probably mark it at the 35 because that's where the slide began. A gain of 5.
Yeah, again, St. Augustine got everybody covered up there a little bit right there, and that quarterback just took off and made a nice run. Again, go back to the onside kick. You've got the momentum. They think you're going to kick deep. You got 2 minutes left. Who's going to onside kick and give you the ball right there if you don't get it?
Yeah.
And they do it and get it. And I think St. Augustine kids were a little sleep on that.
Well, and you have to execute it.
Yes,
the kick was
perfect.
beautiful.
No, it's
I mean,
perfect.
it took that extra bounce.
Mm-hmm.
You can envision it. It took that beautiful bounce. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right.
Quarterback
Shotgun
run.
to Glad, a designed run down to the 32. Hit kind of hard at the end of that run. It'll bring up 3rd and 2, and no doubt fourth down territory.
Yeah, especially with a minute 40 left.
The other thing, St. Augustine gets the football to begin the second half.
And
so
that might have been his thinking.
Yeah.
If we give it to them and they drive and score, then they get it right back. Well, let's take a shot.
I mean, DeSandro might have thought about that one on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
Said
good
if we
idea.
get an opportunity with 2 minutes to go or inside 2 minutes to go, we might do this.
St.
3rd and 2 at the 32-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. The snap, the give, in the backfield, hit, but then falls forward to the 30-yard line, and that's going to be good enough. They just had to get the football, I think, to the 30. That should be a first down for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, that's first down. Yeah, they're right on the line. They changed backs. They brought the big back in there, 33.
Yeah, Dunnigan.
Dunnigan get a little push in there.
So now Mikey Stevens back in the football game alongside R.J. Glad in the backfield. Glad gets the snap.
Reverse.
Now we're reverse, and they
don't
get away with it.
That's a good
around
job
the
by
30,
that
right to the
linebacker.
29.
Yeah.
Maybe a play, a gain of 1 yard, but that was it. As Noah Washington couldn't fool anybody on that one. Nice job to stay home by the Yellow Jackets defense.
Yeah, that was 32, Ethan Lyles. We've called his name a few times tonight. Really good job staying home, fighting off the block, making the tackle. Both guys on this side did a good job there.
Now, here we go. The clock's rolling still. 30 seconds to go. 28-yard line, 2nd and 8. I got to get moving. Glad, snap, rolls left, has a receiver, and it's incomplete out of bounds. Really good defense that time. And that was Stanley on the defensive end of things. And so that stops the clock. 23.3 seconds to go in the first half. 21-21 is our score. Ponte Vedra just got an onside kick to try to keep the momentum. They have it, but it's 3rd and 8 now at the 28-yard line.
And again, they've got a new kicker, too, tonight, too. Ashcroft's out. So they probably got to get a little bit closer for coaching. They got a little bit of wind coming in their face, too. So
yeah, that wind's been swirling, and Neil McDonough will be the kicker if he gets a chance. Trips to the right now on 3rd and 8 from the 28-yard line. 23 seconds to go in the half of a tie game. District championship in 3-6A, and we have a timeout.
Yeah, they couldn't get lined up.
St. Augustine and Brian Braddock will call a timeout. So you like this whole setup. I mean, obviously 21-21.
Yeah.
I think it was a great time for a surprise onside kick.
Yep.
I did not expect it in that
I
spot.
didn't either.
And it worked to perfection.
Yeah, I like it. And then again, they've been pretty aggressive with what they've done in their play call to get in here. Again, if they can steal 3 points out of this with St. Augustine getting the ball, it's a win for them. And I think if they don't get any points, it's a win for them because it kept the ball away from St. Augustine, give them an opportunity to go up and then come back and get the ball at the second half. So I think that's a really good job.
The only way it doesn't work is if you don't get it.
Right.
And you give it up good field position.
Which they've given it to him anyway, so tonight. So, again, I like the call. I like it. I want to see him. I don't know. I think they'll be real aggressive on the first play coming out right here and try to get something deep and get an intermediate over the middle. That formation has caused, that last formation that they called the timeout, has caused St. Augustine some issues getting lined up.
I think about special teams now, and it's really been in the favor of Ponte Vedra. They had a kick return all the way down, kick all the way down to the 2-yard line when the Stanley slipped. Now they turned that into a touchdown, but still, on the surface, good kickoff return.
Right.
Fumble on a punt return that they recovered. Onside kick they recovered. Special teams, at least in the first half, in the favor of Ponte Vedra. 22 seconds to go. Empty set. Glod gets a snap, goes right. Looking downfield as a wide open receiver, and it's caught in the end zone for a touchdown. Looks like Josh Proctor down there in the end zone, all alone as St. Augustine lost him. And that was too easy.
Yeah, that was a really good job. Again, they threw the out route and on this side, and Stanley made the play. And then they went to the other side, and they run the deep out and the up. And the DB bid on it. I don't think it was Stanley. I think it was the other one. He bid on it and then slipped as he turned up and fell down. It was wide open.
So that really turns into something for Ponte Vedra. The extra point is up and good. And I said Proctor. That was not Proctor. That was Keaton Thomas on the play. That was Keaton Thomas for the touchdown. 14 for the touchdown. 16 seconds in the first half, and that could not have worked any better for Ponte Vedra. They recover an onside kick, and then they cash in on 3rd down and 8. 28-yard score, the second 28-yard touchdown of the game. Previously, on that previous possession, scored on a screenplay to Matson. So the receivers are all helping out. Alex Matson with a touchdown and 2 other fantastic catches. Keaton Thomas with the touchdown there as he got wide open.
Yes, he did.
Should say Aiden Lingensfelder, too, also with a touchdown.
Well.
So
they've done really well moving the ball and getting it around. Their kids just catch the football, if you notice that, and catch every ball thrown to them. So it really good job with their kids right here. So, again, will they kick deep and give Stanley a chance to run it back?
They got to be careful. It might not be done. 16 seconds to go. The kickoff right to left is kind of a squib, but he'll get a chance at this thing. Stanley gets around his 13.
He's electric,
he
too, now.
Explodes now to the 35, 40,
oh,
45
goodness.
midfield. It's a foot race past the kicker. The kicker might have saved the day.
Oh, wow.
And down, taken and tackled at the 32-yard line. And what a big play by Neil McDonough. He saved the touchdown, most likely. 5 seconds to go in the first half. St. Augustine will get a crack at this, but that was almost 6.
Yeah, again, that's what I said. Well, they kick deep to him, and then you can kick deep, but don't line drive it and let it bounce right to him. Wait.
Now we got a flag thrown as everybody departs the field. That's a late flag. Maybe a sideline?
It might be sideline warning. I hope none of the kids said something to him. Yeah, sideline warning.
5.5 seconds to go in the first half. What an entertaining first half we've had.
Well, we got a 50-yard field if they want to line up and kick it. That would be entertaining to end the game, to end this half.
That's a good call there.
You know what I mean? I don't know if they've got the kid's leg to do it, but I don't think they're going to do that.
John
I think
Dowdy
they've got to
is the
play.
Place kicker. Could they try that here? I don't think they're going to do it. They're going to bring out Edwards. They bring out Wilson as well in the backfield. And they go 3 wide receivers.
They're gonna
to
get
the
double.
left and 1 to the right. 5.5 seconds to go.
I'm looking
First
for
half.
McDowell somewhere with this ball.
They call a timeout. McDowell's set up in the slot. Blanco's also set
I
out.
want to tell the linemen you to call timeout, Coach. They're still down in their stance.
Yeah, they were just waiting on another whistle. They're ready to go, focused. What an exciting first half we've had. Fantastic.
And that's what we talked about, though, that this game was going to be like this. Remember we said it was going to be a really good game. Both of them average about 400 yards a game on offense. You know, defensively, they're just hanging on defense, trying to steal a play and possession and everything. But, man, I'll tell you what, this is fun. A lot more fun up here, Brent.
Well, they've pulled out all the stops, obviously.
Well, of course.
Now. I mean, we got everything, and it's a district championship game. And
Mhm.
You try everything, and
Right.
We've seen everybody get involved. All the receivers catching touchdowns. All the big-name players for St. Augustine getting their hands
on the ball. But I'm looking
and that
for
was really close. I mean, we
Yeah.
almost had 2 huge special teams plays
Plays.
in the final 2 minutes of this first half. And this is still a big play because it sets them up on the 33-yard line. They've got a chance now
Right.
at the end zone. They only have 5.5 seconds, so they've got to really take the shot to the end zone and hope somebody makes a play on the football.
Right. You got to see. I want to see where they put McDowell. That's who my eyes are
McDowell
on.
is located
See if they're going to double
left
him
side.
cheap. They're playing
Stanley
almost.
to the right. 2 to the left, 2 to the right.
They're almost playing like what we would call 3-man. We'll get a wheel out of that guy.
Blanco goes in motion. Here's a snap. Looking down the field
Oh.
to Stanley. Stanley will go up and try to make a play, but it's incomplete. Threw into double coverage at the end zone, right at the pylon,
I thought he
and it
missed.
falls incomplete. Good effort.
Yeah, good effort. I thought he missed, though. I thought we had one-on-one on the top with McDowell and the safety down. I might have taken that throw to get the one-on-one jump ball than to squeeze the guy into the boundary there. So, but they did a good job. Both saw good play right there. We'll see that later on, too.
Gave themselves a chance to
Mhm.
make a play, and at the end of the first half, an exciting one. Oh, our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690 has been a dandy. 28-21, Ponte Vedra leads St. Augustine. The district championship in 3-6A on the line. Halftime festivities and second half action still to come from Ponte Vedra High School in St. Johns County here on ESPN 690.
Golick and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st.
What better way could you spend your Friday morning? Take your time. We'll wait. Well, looks like we'll be seeing you at Intuition Ale Works. Everyone's invited, but only a few are going to get the VIP treatment.
To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Florida's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Friday nights, we bring the high school football to you on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with our Game of the Week. We don't just cover one school, a different game every week. Listen to the call of the game on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com. Watch the video of the game live on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look us up on Action Sports Jacks or ESPN 690. It's our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, and it leads into the Friday Night Blitz at 10:30 on Fox 30 and 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Now, the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week halftime show. Here's Brent Martineau.
Hey, welcome back here to Ponte Vedra High School. 28-21 our halftime score. The Sharks in the lead over St. Augustine District 3-6A championship game, and it's been entertaining in the first half. Brent Martineau alongside the Hall of Fame coach Kevin Sullivan. Thanks for hanging out with us. And once again, you can hear the game on ESPN 690. Also stream it on ESPN690.com. And you can watch the game, all the video platforms, on YouTube, our Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 channel. Also on Facebook, ESPN 690 Jacks. And on my Twitter handle, at Brent A.S. Jacks. So we got a good one, and I think we're lined up for a really good second half. Overall, Coach, time to take a deep breath at halftime because there was a lot going on. The emotions of the football game, the back-and-forth nature of this one, some mistakes, which always happens in a football game, some really nice plays as well, and then the 15 to 20-minute delay with the injury to Tommy Zatello, who's taken off the field and taken to a local hospital. We're still awaiting word, but the good news there is he had mobility in his extremities, and he gave a thumbs up to the crowd here after that long delay. But again, as the Ponte Vedra High School football team is kind of right behind us here at the press box and taking a blow at halftime, no doubt he's still on their minds.
I'll tell you one thing about that too, Brandon. It's so emotional, the game. I mean, this, if you think about what we've seen already in the first half, it's 28-21. We've seen bad punt, fumble punt, 98-yard drive, 80-yard drive, wideouts making plays all over the place. We almost saw a kickoff return for a touchdown. The kicker had to slow him down and make him cut back right before like 10 seconds left in the half. We've got about the whole gamut can go on. The only thing we haven't seen is an interception or an interception as far as that part goes, but we've seen pretty much everything. The coaches have done a good job of scheming, game planning. They are attacking each other so many different ways. It is, as a coach, it is so much fun to watch, to see the guys go after it. And again, and then we've had the onside kick.
Yeah, and the onside kick, too. I mean, special teams has been a big play right now in this. And we almost had a big one at the end of the half, like you just said, almost a kick return touchdown. But the advantage, I think, because of the results, no doubt Ponte Vedra has had the upper hand on special teams. And right now, a difference in the game because the onside kick led to another touchdown. And they've gotten everybody involved on offense, right? I mean, Mikey Stevens, I mean, different back in there on short yardage situations. 3 receivers have caught touchdowns. I mean, they're doing just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, and he's spreading it around. And Mikey Stevens done a good job running the ball. I'm real impressed with him. And then they pick and they throw to all their guys. And they all, like you said earlier when we were talking about their numbers, they all look the same. You know, they move around in different spots, and they're catching the ball backwards, sideways, bobbling, catching, and going back. And just really nice job. And R.J. Gould has done such a good job of spreading the ball around. They move him out of the pocket. You can take off and run. And then on the other side, St. Augustine, they're interchanging their backs. We know they're different because it's number 4 and number 6. But if you didn't know they had the same, you'd think it's the same back going at.
Justice Johnson and Anthony Wilson. And really the only way I can tell, Coach, is Wilson has some pink on his shoes. So it's very nice to know. Thanks. It's easier to see than the numbers.
See, you can watch film as a coach. That's what we used to do film.
I just
How do you know what
shoes.
number that guy is? Oh, he's got pink shoes on. He's got tape on his. Oh, yeah, okay. That's how we look at it. But I'll tell you what's interesting with them, and then they had the big drive, and they came out, and they moved the ball, and they spread it around, you know, but we haven't seen McDowell. He's got 1 catch on the night. Haven't seen him get on, but I'll tell you, Stanley, Daquan Staley, when he touches the ball, he's touched it about 3 times, and I sort of like waiting for him to go kaboom and gone because he almost did it on the 5-yard out route, turned into 35-yard gain. The return right there, and then the other pass earlier in the beginning of the second quarter. I'm sorry about the little quick pass that he turned into about 15-yard gain. So again, like Coach Braddock said, we're dangerous. Well, they were dangerous for both sides. They had the turnover that led to points, but they've been dangerous when they've had the ball and been effective.
Yeah, you take Wilson and Johnson in the backfield, and you take Stanley on the outside and McDowell on the outside, and you give those guys a little bit of green grass, and there you get the word dangerous. I mean, they really are, and it's fun to watch, and that's why, well, we're 28-21 right now. Ponte Vedra struck first and struck last with the final 14 points of the second quarter and of this first half, and they lead it 28-21. We're going to take a timeout here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. When we come back, we celebrate this week's Coach of the Week. We get you some scores from around the area, and maybe how are the keys to the game looking so far 2 quarters into this one. It's all on the way, plus second half action here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging out with us. Beautiful Friday night. District Championship on the line at Ponte Vedra High School between the Yellow Jackets of St. Augustine and the Sharks of PV.
It's Golick and Wingo.
Timmy Kirkchen, our fine Major League Baseball analyst. Aaron Boone, he talked about it, maybe a mercy rule at some point.
It makes a little bit of sense now. But I'm worried where we are right now that there are so many blowouts. That's just not healthy for the game. So I know what Boone's talking about here. I don't think it'll get any traction, but I guarantee you somebody's going to ask that question within the Major League Baseball offices.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest-growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Away from the football field, Jags players like to hang out at Topgolf. So we decided, what if we put football and Topgolf together for the Jags players? We call it Jags Report Live. It's the newest show in Jacksonville, and you are invited to our weekly Topgolf party, Mondays at 7 p.m. Meet Jaguars players, talk football. If you come for the show, buy an hour in a Topgolf bay and get an hour free. Bring the family, your friends, and we'll meet you there. Action Sports Jacks Jags Report Live, Mondays at 7 p.m. at Topgolf on CBS 47.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Now, the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week halftime show. Here's Brent Martineau.
28-21, our score in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. We've had a great month here on our ESPN 690 Game of the Week, also on the Friday Night Blitz. Again, the Blitz tonight, 10:30 on Facebook, not on Fox 30 because of the World Series. Also, Game 3 of the World Series, we will join in progress, we believe, on ESPN 690 right after this. This is a long first half because of the injury delay. So if you're trying to catch the World Series game, first our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, and then the World Series. We will update you on the score and the progress of Game 3 as the Nationals have a 2-0 series lead over the Astros. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, 28-21 our score. Ponte Vedra leads St. Augustine here at halftime. And a quick celebration of our Coach of the Week, Sharon Dorsey.
Yep.
Terry Parker. They're playing for a district championship.
Yep.
What about the job he's done
in his
at
second
Terry
year?
Parker?
Yeah, did a real nice job. You know, Sharon played in there, played at Bowles. Should have gone to Jackson, but he left before I got there.
You would have kept him there,
yeah,
right?
he would have stayed, yeah, without a doubt. But done a real good job at Gilbert Middle, went over there and has done a nice job. They're playing West Side tonight. It was 19-7 at half. Parker was up. I don't know if we've got any score from that. But really good job he's done, and Ronnie DeBow at West Side this year. Both of those guys did an outstanding job.
Yeah, Ronnie DeBow is one of the best in the business in Duval County. Does a great job, and they are having success. Wolfson won again today. They're 7-2, so congratulations to them. Dennis Bettinger was our first Coach of the Week here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. And thanks again to Baker Sports for helping us salute some of the high school coaches in the area and for supporting our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. Baker Sports, homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport. Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas, screen print, embroidery, and trophies, all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports. And congratulations once again to Sharon Dorsey and the Parker Braves, this week's Action Sports Jacks Coach of the Week, brought to you by Baker's Sports. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, right here in a district championship game in St. Johns County. St. Augustine against Ponte Vedra. The Sharks lead it 28-21 after an exciting and entertaining first half, and we've got 2 more quarters to go. If you're wondering why we're just at halftime, we had a big injury delay in the first quarter, and so the first half took longer than expected. It's also senior night here at Ponte Vedra, so we won't get going for another handful of minutes to the second half. But once we do, Coach, I hope you stay awake, first of all. Yeah. Second, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm telling you what, it's been up and down. So like we talked about this whole broadcast, we were expecting a offensive, high firepower game, and we're getting exactly what we expected.
We had our Lou Saab Honda of the Avenues keys to the game. Lou Saab Honda of the Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. Give us your keys to the game and how they're checking out 2 quarters into this one.
All right, for PB, we want to be able to run the ball effectively. I think they've done a good job of mixing the run in the pass. I think they've run the ball effectively enough to set that passing game up, contain St. Augustine passing game, and get some pressure on the quarterback. They haven't quite done that yet. But St. Augustine has made some plays in the passing game on some short stuff and turned it into big games, so that's not a good. And the kicking game, again, we talked about McDonough. That hasn't really been the issue. It's been the kicking game overall. The onside kick they got was huge. Pitting them deep on the 2 was huge. The punting game has hurt them a little bit. It has set up a short field for 2 St. Augustine studs. So, again, that's a wash there. St. Augustine stay balanced on offense. I think they've done a good job of staying balanced. That disrupt the PV passing game, I don't think they've got near him at all tonight. I don't think they've done a good job. I think the secondary's been confused. They've been out getting formation. I think the kids in the secondary have been thinking too much. And then eliminate big penalties, and we really haven't had a lot of big penalties on the St. Augustine side, and we only had the 1 big turnover off the punt. So, again, the flow of the game has been good. They've played great defense at times, both of them, but then there's a penalty here or a fumble bunt there, and that's kept them in the game. But we're going to have a great finish. St. Augustine gets the ball to start, so they've got to come and answer right away.
But at the end of the day, we really had an even football game in the first half. Ponte Vedra stole a possession with the onside kick, and they scored back-to-back touchdowns to take a 28-21 lead. So it's really been a well-played, even game, and St. Augustine will get the football first in the second half. We'll see if they can match the score once again on the scoreboard. Some other scores from around the area. Mandarin beats Ed White 16-13 on a late field goal. By the way, Kirby Smart, Georgia head coach, was there at that game, flew the chopper in to see Carson Beck. Of course, Mandarin's quarterback is a Georgia commit. So we've seen that a couple times already. Willie Taggart stopped over to the Rains and Sandalwood game about a month ago to see Jeff Sims play. And now Kirby Smart comes to see Carson Beck play, and a bye week for Georgia. And then he'll be in Jacksonville again next week to take on the Florida Gators, as Florida-Georgia is a week away. And good news about the Florida-Georgia game today, that contract has been extended to 2023 with an option to move it to 2025. Parker, by the way, did beat Westside 26-21, so they win the 3-5A district title. According to Clayton Freeman from the Florida Times-Union, first playoff district championship since 2000.
Since 2000.
So Sharon Dorsey was a good pick as coach of the week, I guess.
Yeah,
because he just won a district championship. You were up in the mountains. I had to do that on my own, Coach.
I know. I didn't even send you anything in there. I don't get any reception up in the mountains.
Congratulations to the Parker Braves.
That's
That's pretty cool.
Yep,
Very good win. And West Side
town
continues to play well. They'll be right in position to make the playoffs.
Yes.
They should still be.
Yes.
With all these RPIs. They were, I think, up to number 2.
They were 2, without the win. So they'll drop. They'll probably end up in the 5-6 slot again. And that's sort of the thing. When we got to get ready to do our playoff push, we're going to have some fun ones in the first round. We might have some rematches the way things are set up. We might have a League Columbia round 1 rematch the way things are going to set up.
Wow.
So we're gonna have some interesting stuff. But I'll tell you, Bartram looks like they went up big on Sandalwood, so they're going to go 9-0. They haven't been undefeated in the school history, so they're on pace to do that.
Well, part of the reason they haven't been undefeated in school history is because they weren't able to beat St. Augustine ever until last year. Now they've beaten them 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that was one of their only blemishes at times was the St. Augustine, and now they figured out the Yellow Jackets the last couple of years, and Bartram Trail looks like the best team in Northeast Florida at the moment. We have some other scores that are running in, and we're going to get to the phone line right now and welcome in Action Sports Shack Stuart Weber because he's been all over the place for the Friday Night Blitz. What's up, Weber? Tell us where you've been and what you've got.
All right, so I'm at stop number 3 of the night at Orange Park. Unfortunately for the home team here, not looking good in that 5-5A district championship. The Menendez Falcons out to a 27-0 lead here in the third quarter, 3 minutes to go. Orange Park just got the ball back, but they got a lot of ground to make up if they want to get back into this thing. And we talked about some of these district championship games where the runner-up might make it in on points. Not the case here. Both of these teams need this district title if they want to go to the postseason. So Menendez in good shape at the moment. Also stopped at Wolfson. That was my first stop today. The Wolfpack getting a 22-0 victory over Pine Ridge. So 7-2. For the Wolfson Wolfpack. Pretty exciting stuff for Coach Dennis Bettinger and his guys. And then I also stopped at Christ Church Academy. They're already in the playoffs. The SSAC is the conference they play in, kind of an independent offshoot of the FHSAA. They're already in the first round of the playoffs. Providence has a bye this week. Bishop Snyder on the road. I saw they lost. But Christ Church in a battle with Mount Dora Christian. It was 35-34 at the half for the visitors from down in Orlando. So lots of fireworks, and I don't just mean on the field. They actually had a 3-minute pregame firework display. So that was cool.
Very cool. Good stuff, Weber. And by the way, no surprise, Bartram Trail. I guess I shouldn't say no surprise. Bartram Trail beat Sandalwood, but they beat them going away.
Yeah,
49-21, I think was the score.
I think that's the last one we got.
Last check. Hilliard's beating Bronson at the half. Bowles up over John Carroll 28-7 at the half. Fleming Island 27-14 over Atlantic Coast in the third. Last check. Leeds trailing Gainesville 12-7. So it's a little bit of an upset alert right there. And how about this one, Stuart? Trinity Christian beats Rains in overtime 17-14. That's a big win. They get back to 500 on the year with that tough schedule.
Yes, and that will be the last time this year they are held to a single-digit victory. I'm just going to say that now because they will win the rest of their games, i.e. the playoffs, by double digits every single round.
Well, that's a funny thing, too, Stu, is they may come in as the 6th seed, and all of a sudden somebody like Episcopal's the 3 seed, and they're playing in the first round. You know?
Yeah, that stinks for the 3 seed, and then the 2 seed, and then the 1 seed, because they will sequentially get knocked out by Trinity Christian on the way to the state championship game, which this year for them will be played in Tallahassee. Remember the new locations this year for the state title games. Hey, Trinity's really good. We know it. They played out of their league, and it showed with a 5-5 record. But now they get to the postseason, and they'll make a run. We'll see how well they do. Predictably, I think they'll do pretty well.
All right, Weber, Get back to work. Nice job, as always, on the Friday Night Blitz. It will be 10:30 tonight on Facebook because of Game 3 of the World Series. Sounds like you got some activity back there. We'll see you a little bit later on, man.
All right, sounds good. You guys have a great call, and enjoy all those touchdowns there in Ponte Vedra.
We got plenty of them so far. 7, in fact. Ponte Vedra with a 28-21 lead here at halftime as we get set to begin the third quarter. A couple other scores. Fletcher, 24-6 over First Coast. We already told you, Terry Parker, big district championship. Playoff bound for the first time in 19 years after beating Westside, 26-21. Congratulations to Terry Parker and Sharon Dorsey, our coach of the week. our Baker Sports Coach of the Week. Any other scores that I can catch up to you on? Not so. I do want to pass along this, and this is maybe the most important information if you've been checking out our broadcast today. Tommy Zatello, the senior defensive back, wide receiver, was down on the field at the goal line for a good 15 minutes, taken off on a stretcher, taken to a local hospital, and everybody's thoughts with him here at Ponte Vedra High School. Just got word that he is doing well. He is responding well to all the tests. So good news for Tommy Zatello. As we begin the second half, 28-21. St. Augustine gets the football first. They have it at about the 35-yard line. A little pooch kick. They don't want to mess with Stanley anymore.
I wouldn't either.
And that's where St. Augustine will begin possession in the second half around the 36-yard line, down a touchdown in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
You know what's funny is every game we've done, you said, okay, what do they got to do coming out of the half on offense? I'm like, these teams just keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't have to give you any words of wisdom here.
Try to dial up some defense.
Yes, exactly. But again, St. Augustine, this over formation has been real positive for them. See if Ponte Vedra made any adjustment with it. They've struggled with this formation in the run game.
So here we go. Two receivers to the right. Johnson, the back, gets the handoff. Across the 36, out to the 40 and the 41-yard line. Nice pickup of 5 yards on first down as St. Augustine tries to stay in rhythm and get back in rhythm and tie this football game up on the opening possession of the second half.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the offensive line on both sides. And with St. Augustine, you got Darren Johnson, Xavion Ferguson, Hires, number 70, who's the glue, the only senior, Chris Carper up there doing a good job.
2nd and 5 from the 41. Two receivers left. Everybody looking to the sideline. Change the play. Johnson right behind. Edwards hands off to Johnson. A little cut. Up the middle for about 4 yards, and that looked like he was about to break away. Yeah. And a nice saving tackle on the interior. Brings up 3rd and short.
Yeah, good movement inside by the linebackers. They've been real solid. Again, big senior group, those linebackers. They know how to fit on the run fits and everything. This is a big 3rd down right here, big 3rd down.
.45-yard line. High snap is handled, given to Johnson, and across the line of scrimmage and out toward midfield for a first down. Now, that looked like it was bottled up, and he squeezed through there somehow and gets close to midfield, moves the chains for a first down. It's Justice Johnson, by the way, in the carry.
Just keeps his movement, gets good body lean, keeps it moving right there. I thought he was going to pull it off that one a minute because they sort of brought the outside linebacker late on that. Always got the RPO on this throw out here.
So St. Augustine right around midfield. Edwards now looks right, has a receiver. It's Blanco. He catches it around the 45-yard line of Ponte Vedra, slips up, and not the first player we've seen slip.
Yeah, I don't think the footing's bad. It's not like anything's coming up on the ground. It's like they're trying to take off before they get control of the ball.
Jags will go to Wembley Stadium next week and almost has the appearance of that might be a little slick, just that slick surface, and not long enough cleats. If this was the NFL, they probably would have changed cleats.
I'm going to do that Wembley trip.
I should sometime. I wish it just wouldn't be on Florida Georgia week. The snap now on 2nd and 4 to Blanco. Spin down inside the 40, close to the 35-yard line. Well-designed play. A little pitch and catch, first down, and move the chains. And we've got another injured Ponte Vedra player on the field.
Again, that's one of the linemen are down. That's not a lot of depth there, a lot of bigger bodies. That's one of the bigger body guys. It looked like 53, but I'm not quite sure. But again, good little drive. Just a little bubble screen out there. The corner came running. The wideout did enough to get in his way. Let him catch the ball. Good burners, got the first down. Again, those guys got really good quicks, really good jets when they get that thing. All those guys, Blanco, Daquan Stanley, McDowell, they can all go boom as soon as they touch it. Very dangerous players. So I think he's going to be getting up right here. Good job at getting him up off the ground.
If it is 53.
No, it's not. .57 is Harlan Nikoloff, senior.
defensive line. A lot of seniors on this defense, but like you said earlier in the broadcast, a lot of seniors that they didn't necessarily play, but they know how to be around high school football. They have some experience, but it's not like their whole starting defense came back from last year.
No.
But the senior leadership, the senior-oriented defense has played well most of the season. St. Augustine's not having a problem with it right now, though. Johnson on first down carries the football inside the 35-yard line just to pick up a 2, brings up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, their kids up front, like I said, they've got one senior, St. Augustine, 70. That's who Coach Braddock said. Chris Carper is like the main state leader up there on the guys. He's a guy they can't afford. He's the glue on the offensive line. He's the right guard. They move him around a little bit, but he sort of gets all the young guys going with the calls.
2nd down and 8 from the 34. High snap, but it's handled. Now it's given to Wilson. Wilson cuts back. Nifty run inside the 30, down to the 28. Picked up about 6 yards, sets up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, I thought he was going to pull that. They brought the outside linebacker late, throw the bubble, but again, Wilson just sort of stays in there, keeps his feet moving, and just sort of finds it, and boom, he shoots through, picks up 5. So big 3rd down here. Again, I think it's 2-down territory here, Brent. I know it's early in the 3rd, but I don't think he'll kick this field goal.
So here we go. From the 28-yard line, have to get inside the 26 for a first down. 8:25 and counting in the 3rd. 28-21, Ponte Vedra leads. Wilson goes to the right, then back to the left side of Edwards, now to the right. Edwards takes a snap, throws right, has the receiver. First down, completion on the near side inside the 25-yard line. Just a couple of yards, but good enough for a first down to Stanley.
Yeah, just a nice, easy take what you give me. The DB's playing about 2 yards inside, 7 yards off. They just run a quick speed out, catch it. First down, 5-yard gain, move the chains.
And, of course, you're thinking run probably on 3rd and 2, so it's a nice call.
Yeah, I think they call that. They change it at the side based on what they're doing.
So it brings up a first down and 10. We roll up to 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 28-21, opening possession of the second half. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Snap to Edwards, hands off to Wilson, and nice job on the defensive front. Wilson couldn't go anywhere that time. He's been elusive, but that time no gain.
Yeah, 24 got in there. He came in for the injured other lineman right there. Did a nice play, fought off the down block and squeezed that right there. 1 yard gain. So go bring up 2nd and 9. St. Augustine again. They've slowed the pace down.
They really have. They're not in a hurry at all.
That
defense was on the field a lot in the late 2nd quarter.
So again, 2nd and 9.
From the 23. They give it to Wilson. Running left, now inside the 20. Down close to the 15. Some physical running at the end of that as Wilson tried to finish it off, and he got close to a first down.
Yeah, just a little outside zone. They get little trips open. They got 3 receivers to the left. And they just run outside zone with a quarterback pull off of it, and he just hands it to him, and he gets on the edge and goes and levels off. This would definitely be 2-down territory here. I don't think they'll kick this field goal.
6:50 to go and counting. 28-21. Ponte Vedra leads it by 7. 3rd down and 1.
Oh, nice
Wilson
job.
Tackled at the shoelaces right in the backfield before he can get to the line of scrimmage. So that will bring up a 4th down and a yard. He lost a half a yard there, but they're keeping their offense on the field to no surprise.
Yeah, that was Bloss, a linebacker, one of the leading tacklers on the team. Between him and number 6, Sanders, they lead the team 48 tackles on the year coming into this game.
So the crowd comes to life. 28-21 district championship game coming up. 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Opening drive in the second half. It's been a good one. The handoff, and I don't think Johnson got it. The defense of Ponte Vedra. We talked about the senior leadership,
finally.
And they come up big. Really the first stop of the game by anybody. Ponte Vedra gets it done after almost a 6-minute drive for St. Augustine.
Yeah,
I think
really
we have
good.
a water break.
Water break timeout.
Let's take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Game of the week. Some excitement here in Ponte Vedra. The Sharks lead it by 7, and they'll get the football back when we return on ESPN 690.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
And this guy writes in, where was all this Masvidal love before his recent success? Real fans have had his back for a long time.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Thank you for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Everyone is loving our in-depth coverage of the Jaguars, the NFL, and all things sports. Another thing our listeners will love, your business. Let's work together and get you on the fastest growing sports station in Northeast Florida. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 904-245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
28-21, big stop by Ponte Vedra. 6-minute drive. They get nothing out of it for St. Augustine, and here comes the Sharks. Opening possession of the second half, leading by a touchdown. Glod will keep it. Runs left, not much doing. Well done by the defense of St. Augustine. Just a couple of yards for the QB from Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, they just a little zone, run pull, little zone read there, and he just kept it, and he's not going to take any hits. Going back to that fourth down play, I thought that they got a little out-schemed. They sort of out-schemed themselves. They could have just thrown the 5-yard out again or throw the hitch. They brought the extra pressure off, left the man coverage out on the outside. So they went 2 plays back-to-back, and Ponte Vedra just brought the pressure up inside, left the man on.
So 2nd down and 8 from their own 17-yard line. That's Stevens, who somehow found his way through. It looked like good penetration by St. Augustine, but off that right side, Stevens able to get a few yards, sets up a manageable 3rd down situation for Ponte Vedra. Opening drive of the second half for the Sharks. They lead at 28-21, district championship game. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan here in St. Johns County for a dandy in our game of the week.
Yeah, I tell you, that offensive line, that right side, especially that right side of Butler and Mahoney are doing a really good job. Hollenbrecht's the center, Mazzella's the left guard, and Lewis the left tackle. They were getting really good push in there, and then the tight end, Proctor's done a good job too. There's a big 3rd down right here.
Have to get to the 26-yard line. They roll left with Glod, and they have a receiver right on the near sideline, and that is a completion to Lingenfelser, the senior wide receiver. Easy catch on the near sideline, got his feet down in just enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, just easy pitch and catch. Again, looks like the secondary is sort of confused. They're not really doing anything differently. They're running little out routes and little sit-down routes in there.
A snap here now, and
yeah, not
much doing for Keaton Thomas, who caught a touchdown earlier in the game.
Yeah, that's automatic. There's 3 over 2 out there. The St. Augustine guys weren't quite lined up. Trying to get the defensive call from the side. Didn't get quite lined up. He just snapped it and threw it over there. Good recovery by the corner making the tackle, Stanley.
I was curious if it was almost false start.
2nd down.
4:41 to go here in the 3rd. 28-21. Ponte Vedra has it at their own 33. Snap, roll right by Glod, a receiver. Caught around the 40 and close to the 1st down. Just tackled by the shoelaces on the far side of the football field. It'll bring up 3rd down and about a yard.
Again, Ponte Vedra, man, they're just running their offense. They're going big package here now. They got the big bodies coming in, 82 and 24. Big tight end coming in. Then
that's Josh Proctor, number 82. 82. They bring Stevens back into the game. Glod back there at QB, of course.
And 33.
Noah Washington near sideline. Actually, that's Lingenfelser down on the 40. 3rd down and 1. The snap, the give to Stevens, and did he get enough of a crease? He did, right up the gut, just picked up a yard, just needed, well, probably about 35 feet. He got 36.
Yeah, St. Augustine did a good job.
Inches, sorry.
I thought St. Augustine did a really good job in there on that. But, again, he just got a little gap and sort of leaned in and knocked it down right there.
So they move the chains. The clock continues to roll. All the fireworks of the first half. And this,
down.
What the heck is boring here in the 3rd quarter? 3:45
we had a 6-minute drive. What the heck's going on?
Hey, I had plenty of energy left. Let's go. Get backing up and down that field. The handoff on 1st down, and this time Stevens nowhere to go. Holy cow, they almost ripped that football loose, Coach, at the end, but they blew the whistle before McDowell did it.
Yes, they just got a little bend back in there. Stevens got a little bend back in there, but again, they're going to bring the bigger back in. So Stevens limped off a little bit right there. He needs a little bit of a blow. He's been running the ball hard inside there. Really good job.
The clock moves, and Nobody's in a hurry out on that football field.
First half, everybody was in a hurry.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. 28-21 our score. Sharks in the lead. They have the football at their own 44 after a stoppage on downs for St. Augustine. 2nd and 7. Glod rolls left. Looks down the field. Has an open receiver. It's Washington. Caught at the 20. Can he run away from everybody?
Touchdown.
It's a touchdown for Washington. 57 yards. Glod once again found the receiver behind the defense, and it's now a 2-score game.
I'll tell you what, it looked like there was nothing there. That St. Augustine DB's got everybody disrupted in their routes, and it's like they just stop. And I know they're playing some type of reading guys and reading patterns, pattern reading and everything. It looks like they're just so confused right now what's going on in trips.
It's almost like their eyes are in the backfield watching Glod roll out, and they just lose the receiver. It's about the third time we've seen it. The snap, the hold, the kick is good, and it's 35-21. Well, that's a big turn of events here in the third quarter.
Right.
St. Augustine took that opening drive. They drive 6 minutes. They can't get it on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. Stopped on downs. Ponte Vedra uses a couple of first downs. Milks a little bit more of that clock, and then hits a 57-yard touchdown from R.J. Glod to Noah Washington, and it's a 35-21 game here in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Yeah, again, it was a tale of two drives. You get down there, you go for it on 3rd down and 1, get nothing. 4th down and 1, get nothing. They come out, get two big 3rd down conversions, then get a first down, and then boom, come out and hit the big pass. So again, St. Augustine going to be back, and we'll see now. We're going to see if they'll open it up with Sammy Edwards or if they'll stay one more time and stay on what they're doing.
There's still plenty of game
pass. Yep, run pass, but the clock is not their friend. 2 scores down.
2 scores down, but third quarter, 2:48 to go. It's interesting. R.J. Glod has done pretty much nothing from the pocket.
No,
Everything's been on the rollout.
Yep.
They've set him up nicely. It's worked to perfection. And a couple times found receivers down the seam, but there have been receivers pretty much wide open in this football game. And, Madsen made a couple of nice catches in the first half, then had the screenplay for a touchdown. But just about everything working on offense for DeSandro and Ponte Vedra.
Oh, ball fell off the tee. Good job. Good job by the kicker, because if he kicks that's a live ball.
Yeah, that's a good job to just let that thing be. Kind of looked like my golf ball falling off the tee. Happened to be the other day, Coach. In mid-swing, I couldn't stop my swing. It fell off the tee, and I actually hit it. I couldn't whiff. You just can't whiff.
Where'd it go?
I pulled right about 30 yards.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 30 feet.
That's like my normal drive.
Yeah. Breezy evening now.
Nice.
It's beautiful. 2:48 to go in the third. 35-21. Ponte Vedra leads it. 3-6A district championship on the line. One thing about R.J. Glod, he leads St. Johns County in passing, more than 1,700 yards, and he's doing a nice job today. Now, Stanley, here's on his feet, 30, spins around to the 40, cuts it back in around midfield, and they've had some success in the return game. Those guys are dangerous.
I thought we were getting a hold on that one right there. But again, they're letting them play for the most part.
Daquan Stanley has been outstanding. He spun away from traffic that time, got it out to midfield. Everybody, Ponte Vedra wants a hold, no flag, and that's where St. Augustine will begin this possession. Well, not a lot of possessions left in this football game, potentially.
But one thing, if you're going to kick it deep, try to get it up in the air so you got a chance. He's sort of line driving that to him right there, so you don't get any coverage down there.
And it's a swirling wind, so it's kind of hard to tell what it's doing down there compared to up here. We're at the top of the press box. Trips to the left. First down and 10 from midfield. They give to Wilson. He's pointing. I want to block. He crosses down inside the 45-40 on the far sideline and knocked out of bounds inside the 40 after a gain of 13 yards. It'll be a first down.
They did a good job. I think he was pointing to the guy to get him blocked. He had to block that guy. Or
I don't think he got the block.
I don't know. I think he outran him right there.
But
again, that outside zone play has been real good. They've been able to get on the edge a little bit to that side.
Well, they might run it to this side. Now they have the trips to the right. Wilson in the backfield again. It's a similar setup, just kind of flipped the field. The ball's on the 36-yard line, so it's a 14-yard run, 1st and 10. 2.5 to play in the third. St. Augustine has to make something happen. They're down 2 scores. This time Edwards keeps it on the read option down to the 20-15 and knocked out of bounds at the 12-yard line. And that was well set up because of the success of Wilson.
Right.
That time Edwards kept it on the read option.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody on the defensive side saw him or expected them to do that. So, again, good job by that to finish off the run there. Again, knocking on the door. They can get a first down.
Well, 2 plays, and that's 37 yards. 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Now a quick pass out to Stanley. Stanley has it at 10, gets a block down to the 5, and into the end zone for a touchdown. 3 plays, 50 yards, touchdown for St. Augustine. And just like that, in 44 seconds, they're back in the football game.
I'll tell you what, McDowell drilled the corner right there on that quick little tunnel screen out there. Came out of the number 2 spot and just drilled the corner. And Stanley caught that, boom, up the sideline and gone. That was a really good job. Good effort.
That's good coach's eyes right there. Jaden McDowell on the outside was able to really spring Stanley loose, and he got a lot of love on the sideline for that too. The coaching staff at St. Augustine saw that, noticed it. Now the extra point attempt. And these are big. The snap, the hold is kind of low, but a nice job by the holder and the kicker as he knocks it through, and it's a 35-28 game as the kicking teams have been very good on extra points.
Yeah, again, the getting the ball out of his hands fast and getting some of that, but I'll tell you what, the blocking by the wideout on that play was tremendous. But again, great drive. I mean, it's an outside zone run. It's a quarterback zone run. It's a little tunnel screen. It's a touchdown. It's a 7-point game. That was about 36 seconds that took.
It was literally 40.
I thought we were back in the first half.
It was 48 seconds. 44 seconds. That was it. 3 plays, 50 yards, 44 seconds. Good return. You just mentioned the plays. Touchdown.
Right.
And, that's why Jeff DeSandro, the coach of Ponte Vedra, probably tried to steal that possession late in the first half with the onside kick. They can strike that quickly. And we saw a 6-minute drive that resulted in nothing to start this half, and then we just saw a 44-second drive that got 50 yards and 7 points. So once again, we got ourselves a football game. But for St. Augustine, they're going to have to make a stop along the way.
Or get a turnover or something that they haven't been able to do.
And right now, I'd just be running that rollout and see if I can spring receivers down the field. I know you want to use some clock too, but I do it until it doesn't work, right? Here's the kickoff, left to right, taken around the 14-yard line, across the 20, out to the 25. A big collision right around the 25-yard line. Nice tackle, and that's Mikey Stevens down. He doesn't go down easy.
Yeah,
was that Madsen? That might be Madsen, 83 or 43.
Yeah, 16 was on that. Teron Baxter made the tackle. Good, solid hit, ran his feet, dumped him right there. So, again, sort of where they started last time, Brett. So, again, PV, they just got to run their offense and do what they've been doing. They don't have to change anything, get fancy. Just do what they're doing. Just keep sort of nickel and diming with the run game and then come out and take your shot. But, again, now, with you, this trips formation, for some reason, St. Augustine is confused how to line up to it.
Well, I have trips on the right, single receiver left. Send a man in motion, so now it's just 2 receivers, and they give it to Stevens. He runs the right side. They block it well. About a gain of 4 yards up to the 30. On first down.
Yeah, good fit right in there. Again, the linebackers have been very active for St. Augustine, getting on the run fits and everything. And kids have done a really good job. And there, it looks like Johnson might have been on that tackle, 21, with Myers, number 3 inside. So, been very active, those inside guys.
35-28 our score. Ponte Vedra has the football. They lead by a touchdown with 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week also up for a district championship in 3-6A. St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra. Now, Glod is going to be sacked, and finally some pressure back at the 21-yard line. And that's a big loss and a big play for the St. Augustine defense.
Yeah, he tried to get off along the edge, but that was a really good job reaching out, grabbing, got a sack. That's what we talked about early in the game, where we thought they need to get a little pressure on him. And, again, you're thinking, well, why are they changing what they've been doing? They've been killing them on this rollout. They try to run the mesh inside, but, boy, they finally got a pass rush in there. Take advantage of that. That's going to bring up a third and about 15.
So the ball sets at the 21-yard line, 22-yard line. Third and long. Glod gets it, looks now flush right. Has some room to run, but he's got another open receiver. It's caught around the 43, bumped out of bounds at the 45 after a big gain and a first down. It's Aiden Lingenfelser once again coming up with a big play. And again, Coach, they had him.
Yep.
And then that receiver breaks late, and it's wide open.
Well, when he starts a scramble in there, that's scramble drill. The DBs block on the closest guy to him, and stay with him. You don't both take off and run to tackle the quarterback who's 17 yards from the first down marker.
Well, Brian Braddock will tell you about the inexperience they have on this football team. It looks like it's showing up a little bit in this game at times, especially on some of those big plays. 30 seconds to go in the quarter. 35-28. Here's the snap. Stevens now has it, maybe a half a yard, couple inches, not much doing right up the middle. St. Augustine starting to play a little bit better, but it's those big plays on those third downs.
They've given up like 4 third down possessions in this third quarter alone.
That was a swift quarter of action, as that will be the final play. And when we get back to the fourth quarter, we've got 12 minutes to decide the district championship in 3-6A. 35-28. Sharks have the football and the lead by 7 here at home. We'll be back on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690 to decide a district champ coming up next.
Golick and Wingo.
I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a kid in the league than Josh Rosen, It's like deja vu for him. He's going through this all again. We may never know what Josh Rosen could or could not have been because of the 2 situations he's found himself.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
All right, so welcome back. Final quarter of play. 35-28, 2nd and 10 from their own 46. Glad rolls left for Ponte. Vedra has a receiver caught at midfield. Trying to run toward the first down marker. It will be close. Marked around the 46-yard line of St. Augustine. I don't think he has it given the spot, but we'll see. And another easy pass and catch and maybe move the sticks for the Sharks.
Yeah, just a little semi-roll route. Same thing they've been pretty much doing all day. They bring the motion guy. He either runs the sit down, the corner, or the out, and then the outside guy, he's gonna run the curl or the dig. So it's not real sophisticated out there what they're doing. But
call it third and short. It is a really short, like an inch or 2. That's it. Third down at the 46-yard line of St. Augustine. Glad will keep it up the middle, and he'll push forward for a first down inside the 45. So keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving. And the Sharks lead by 7 here at home in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. It's been a good football game. And we could have a wild 11 minutes in store to finish this one off.
Well, it's not going to matter. If St. Augustine can't get a stop, it's not going to matter. They're going to end up, not getting off the field at all. And then they're going to come back on offense and have to play catch-up 2 touchdowns. They got to get a stop.
The snap now on 1st and 10 from the 44. They set up the screen. They scored on a screen earlier, but this time it's sniffed out. St. Augustine all over it on the far side. That'll be a loss of a few yards. Fantastic defense.
Yeah, everybody running the ball. They had the DN in the corner involved, the safety in the alley. So nice job. Good call on first down, too, because you don't usually throw that screen coming on first down. So that was a loss on that pass. So that's going to be 2nd and long. All they got to do is get the third down, Brett, because they're like 9 and 9 in the second half on third down.
10-15 and counting to go in this football game. St. Augustine trails by a touchdown. Actually only called it a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 at the 46 of St. Augustine. Glad now rolls right, looks down the field, has a receiver at the 31 caught. Looks to be Noah Washington once again, and that's a first down. And again, confusion in the secondary. They ran the defenders out of the play, and Washington was wide open.
Yeah, Glad paid for that. He kept his shoulders level, and as soon as he threw it, he got drilled by the linebacker and got dumped. Again, good ball, good catch. But again, it's like they're running these little rub routes with each other, and the DBs at St. Augustine are just letting everybody go.
The ball's marked at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. 9:40 and counting in the final quarter, 35-28 of this district championship game in 6A. Ponte Vedra leads by a touchdown. They couldn't really figure things out, and I think a little bit of that is Glad was hit pretty good.
Yeah, I
Might
think
want to
so.
catch his breath a little bit.
Yeah, they got it up. They couldn't get the back couldn't get lined up once he got in, and then they just couldn't get it in. Again, it's no huddle from the sideline, but he took a little bit of a shot there. That might be a good timeout. Make sure he's okay. Have everybody hang out and enjoy what they're doing right now. So
he appears to be okay. Once again, we want to pass along. If you caught us earlier in the broadcast and missed us at halftime when we updated, Tommy Zatello, senior defensive back wide receiver for Ponte Vedra. Scary moment in this game in the first quarter when he was down on the field near the goal line after a St. Augustine touchdown for a good 15 minutes. And we had fire trucks and ambulances. And
yes,
there was a lot of activity around that. But overall, we got good news that the tests are showing well at the hospital, and he appears to be okay. So that was the update around halftime. Wanted to pass that along. If you're just catching back up with us during this broadcast, our thoughts with Tommy Zatello and his family and everybody in the Ponte Vedra Sharks family, and hope things are good. We got the thumbs up as he was taken off the field on the stretcher.
Right.
Always a good sign. But definitely a scary moment here earlier in this game. And Ponte Vedra has played well, most likely in honor of their senior teammate. 1st and 10 now from the 30. They look to pass. They've got a wide-open receiver at the 10, and a great catch down there. Falling to the ground. That might be the tight end this time around, and that's Josh Proctor, I think, as they sprung him loose. And it's a 1st and goal for Ponte Vedra.
Again, they're not like they're running any complex routes and everything. That's what's like.
They are wide open.
Yeah, I mean they're
wide
just,
open.
I've seen St. Augustine play a lot of times. I've never seen this many guys wide open in 10 games, let alone one. But that's a good job by the Ponte Vedra, those staff, and getting them lined up, ready to go, getting in these mismatches.
And a really good catch too. That one was at his shoelaces, and he caught it. 1st and goal now, and the give. Down to the 5, the 4, and the big guy bringing everybody with him. That's Aiden Dunnigan. As they mix the backs and down to the 1-yard line, Ponte Vedra knocking on the door and trying to, I don't know about put this game away, but create another 2-score separation.
But again, they bring in the big back, change of pace back right there, and he's the pounder. So they've gotten in some power, but they're not in a hurry either. They're burning some time and everything, what they're doing. So
they shouldn't be. 8.5 to go in the final quarter, 35-28. Ponte Vedra leads by a touchdown, and they're on the doorstep of another one at the 2-yard line. 2nd down and goal. They got Dunnigan. They have Stevens in there. The snap, the give to Stevens. He looks right, and he will be tripped up right about the line of scrimmage. Got back to the 2-yard line, and this will bring up a big 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, good penetration inside. Linebacker 44 for St. Augustine. He's been all over the field in the second half, getting downhill, making some tackles. He got good push, took up the power back, and just sort of drove him back right there. So that's a really good effort right there for Devin Carter, and he's played well this second half.
Inside 8 minutes to go in the football game. 35-28, Ponte Vedra leads St. Augustine by a touchdown. Big 3rd and goal right here. They fake it to Stevens. Now Glad has it. Looking to throw it, and he might throw it out of the end zone. He does. Well defended by St. Augustine. And now Jeff DeSandro, the first-year coach for Ponte Vedra, has a decision to make. Field goal or go for it on 4th and 2?
I think they're going to kick this one. I think they've got to kick it, make it a 2-score game. The way St. Augustine has been able to move the ball, on them, they haven't, except the one time they stopped them on 4th down. They haven't really stopped them. It's just an extra point, basically.
Well, it is, and extra points. Neil McDonough has been 5 for 5 on extra points, and this will be set up on the right hash for about a 19-yard field goal attempt. So really no different than an extra point. 7.5 to play. Here it is. The snap, the hold is good. The kick is up.
Right down
and
the middle.
Perfect. Neil McDonough getting it done. 5 for 5 on extra points. And that could be, a lot of time left still, but that could be the deciding factor in this football game. It's now 38-28, a 10-point lead for Ponte Vedra here at home in the District 3-6A championship game.
Yeah, again, they did a good job. Going back to the play before when they ran the play action off the power set, they tried to sneak the power back out late down the back. And Glod got out there, and he saw it, and then he just sort of threw it to the back of the end zone where the only guy that was going to catch it was his guy. If not, it was going to go out of bounds. So really good play by the senior quarterback. Senior backup kicker comes in, knocks it through, give him a 10-point lead. We're going to have a great finish here. St. Augustine, again, still not in a hurry, overly in a hurry. They got to speed it up a little bit, but they've scored in this half in 43 seconds. So, again, where are we going to kick this ball now, Brent? We going to kick it to Stanley or not?
Well, it's 7:27 to go in the football game, down by 10. But I do remind you, St. Augustine, one, they've been able to return kicks at a very good rate all season, and their last possession was 44 seconds long. So there could be a lot of time left in the game. That was about the first time we've seen Ponte Vedra stopped. They had to force to kick a field goal instead of getting a touchdown. A little pooch kick.
They're going to kick it to him,
down
and
to the
he's going to throw it back to
line.
Stanley.
He could have, and it's taken across the 30 to the 34-yard line, and that's it. But it wouldn't have been a bad idea to get it back to number 5 somehow.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Sometimes you pooch it, you just throw it back to him and let him do his thing.
7:23 to go in the football game, and they have to move quickly. And they've been able to do it at times throughout this year, and even in this football game. But St. Augustine will come out with the football at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10, trailing by 10 points. It's a district championship game. It's a big one here in Ponte Vedra, and the Sharks have a 10-point lead at home in our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Trips to the left, single receiver right. Wilson in the game. Quick throw out to the far sideline, and it might be good for a first down. It's completed around the 41, and there was some room to tiptoe the sideline and move those chains. A nice game to start the drive for St. Augustine.
Yeah, and again, that's Stanley. Again, he's so quick with his thing. That's a 10-yard gain, and just on a 5-yard pass route. He's just so quick to get that one-on-one out there.
Are they taking McDowell out of the game by the double team and just leaving Stanley open? McDowell's been quiet. Now here the read option. Edwards has it close to midfield, now into Ponte Vedra territory on the far side, and that's a healthy gain on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and probably 4.
Yeah, I know when he's by himself, they're definitely bracketing him on that side. But being at the inside trip guy, they're sort of trying to keep the backer to rub the rub route on him like that. I thought they were going to throw the tunnel to or the bubble to him out here, the way they're playing this.
Cooper, Blanco, McDowell out to the left with trips. Over to the right all by himself is Stanley. He's been outstanding today. Wilson in the backfield. Here's a snap to Edwards. Edwards looks deep to Stanley. Has him down the middle of the field. It's caught at the 20 and down to the 14-yard line. Nice tackle. Well defended. But that was a beautiful throw and a nice catch.
Well, see, what you don't see is what they're doing with McDowell is when he's in that 3, this time he sort of run that little dragger, which drew the safety down on top, which got Stanley up over the top of him. It looked like what they're doing. Yep,
You'll take that any day of the week,
yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
Good design. 6.5 minutes to play in the football game. St. Augustine down by 10, but here they go. Another quick strike opportunity for the Yellow Jackets. Trips to the left. Stanley out to the right. Wilson in the backfield behind Edwards. Sammy Edwards with a nice throw on that last play. Now off the left hip is Wilson. Edwards, 1st and 10 from the 15. Looks to the fade to the end zone. Has a receiver. It's caught, and there he is. Did they get a touchdown?
Yeah,
yes,
touchdown.
absolutely, a
McDowell.
touchdown. Jaden McDowell, finally. Hey, where's number 1? There he is in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the game. And it's so close once again here at Ponte Vedra High School.
Yeah, again, so they've been in that trips concept right there. So they went the little man with that safety off of him. And so they sat 2 little quick dig routes, brought them, and he ran the little smash corner route in back behind it. Really good play design. But, again, you just get the ball back there and let him get one-on-one.
We're seeing good coaching, good play calling. Get it to the guys that are your playmakers on both sides of the football field, and there's a lot of scoring because of it. Now the extra point, and we have some movement. Might call the defense for offsides.
I think they're
the left side moved, but, yeah, they're declining it. It's on the defense. Now, once again, St. Augustine got the football with 7:31 to go. So that was a minute 23 off the clock, and that was it.
Yeah, this is
44-second drive, and then an 83-second drive.
And then they had a 6-minute drive where they got no points.
Yeah, how about that? Now here's the snap. The hold is a nice job by the holder.
Yep.
High snap, they got it down, and they kicked it through. And now it's a 3-point football game here at Ponte Vedra High School in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. 38-35 is our score. I do want to mention, we're giving a lot of love, and we should, to Jaden McDowell, number 1 for St. Augustine. Just caught the touchdown pass. Giving a lot of love to Daquan Stanley, number 5 for St. Augustine, making a lot of big plays now in this football game. But those last 2 throws
were good. Yep.
Sammy Edwards did a great job. Beautiful passes, right on the money, and gave those playmakers a chance to make the play, and they did.
Well, Coach Braddock told me that early in the year against Bowles, he went out and just played so bad as a thing, and so they sort of challenged him a little bit. And then he came back with the Bartram Trail, and just all of a sudden the whole confidence of him and everything has just grown. And I think as you get your guy and you start figuring out what you can and can't do, I figure out that, we know what he does well and what he doesn't do well, so on and so forth. So it just takes you a little bit of time to do that.
6:08 to go in the game. You have to rely on your defense, right? Ponte Vedra, they bring up an extra couple of bodies just in case on the hands team. They're almost expecting an onside of sorts. I don't think we're going to get it here. Blanco with the kick. It's a line driver. It's taken around the 5-yard line. Now back across the 15 and the 20, and it's well covered by St. Augustine. Body slam to the ground
over there.
But Ponte Vedra will get the football inside their own 20, so the Yellow Jacket special teams does a nice job, trailing down by 3. 6:02 to go in the football game, and we got ourselves the final water break of this one. Oh, buckle up, everybody. Could be a good finish in St. Johns County in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. The final 6:02 of a 38-35 game. Sharks lead St. Augustine by 3 when we come back.
Get your Florida Georgia weekend started with Golic and Wingo live in Jacksonville Friday, November 1st at Intuition Ale Works on Bay Street. Come join us for our live show from 6 to 10, where you can hear our show live on ESPN Jacksonville 690. Golic and Wingo live from Intuition Ale Works, November 1st, 6 through 10.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
And welcome back. Our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Ponte Vedra starts from their own 20-yard line. First play from scrimmage gets nothing, so it brings up 2nd and 10 for the Sharks. They lead by 3. We're inside 6 minutes to go in the football game. It's a district championship game on the line in 3-6A. Brent Mortno, Kevin Sullivan. Oh, this has been a lot of fun. Now they send a receiver left, 2 to the right. Ponte Vedra going left to right. R.J. Glod, the quarterback. Mikey Stevens been doing a lot of the work in the backfield. He's off his right hip. 2nd and 10. They're not in a hurry. Now rolls out right for Glod. He has a receiver. And once again, that's a catch. And that's Aiden Lingenfelser once again. Those receivers have been making plays all night long. They'll move the chains.
Yeah, they just run about a 10-yard out route. And the DB's nowhere to be there. They've fallen down. Everything, no push-offs, none of that like that. Again, just stay on and keep doing what you're doing. Get a nice 5-6 minute drive here. They haven't stopped them since who knows when, first quarter maybe. So, again, I think they're going to change it up, bring a little pressure here.
Inside 5 minutes to go now. 1st and 10 from their own 31 for Ponte Vedra. Not in a hurry at all. 7 to go on the play clock. They snap it. They give it to Stevens, and he is met at the line of scrimmage. That was a big hit. Bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they're just tightening up. They went a little bit of man coverage right there, and Darnell Myers come in there. He's getting none of that. They've done a much better job closing up those lanes again. But
it's been the passes. Yeah. It's been those plays with the rollout. They just can't stop that. And I understand what Ponte Vedra's doing. They're running some clock, but when they need a play, they're going to go back to that rollout. 4:14 and counting. 38-35. Ponte Vedra leads it. 2nd and 9 from their own 32. Aiden Lingenfelser in motion. Now they flood the left side. They fake it to Stevens. Glod rolls left. Has the receiver right at the 45. It's caught. And now out to midfield. Another first down. A wide open receiver once again. And I think that was McGee.
Yeah, just drag from the backside dragger off that little naked read route right there. Came out. Again, the safety did a really good job of getting down to the open back. And then Gould just held the ball enough, bide his time, and just got the ball in the dragger from the guy way away. Again, they just got to take their time.
That wasn't McGee. There's no McGee. That's Jacob Greer. First down, 3:35 to go. Now inside St. Augustine territory, once again, not in a hurry at all. And Glad's doing a great job of working the clock. Now down to 6 and 5 on the play clock. They hand it to Stevens, runs left. Gain of a couple yards, but more importantly, it will keep the clock moving unless Brian Braddock calls a timeout. And he hasn't done that just yet. 3:15 and counting. I think he will on
the next time if they don't get it. But again, all they're going to do is run the rollout. We'll see what we get. They're bringing in the big back now. 33's coming back in, Brent. It's either that helps with the rollout, helps with quarterback run.
Mikey Stevens gets a nice round of applause from the home crowd. Aiden Dunnigan in the game for him now. We're inside 3 minutes to play, 38-35, 10 on the play clock. Ball's marked at the 47, 2nd and 8 for Ponte Vedra in Yellow Jackets territory. District championship on the line. Sharks lead by 3. They give it to him. Now inside the 45. He's running hard. That's Dunnigan down close to the 40, and it might be close enough for another first down.
No, I think it's third.
Set up a 3rd and short, most likely.
See, again, you've been tackling and hitting the little guy, and all of a sudden you bring the bigger back in there, and you're not used to getting hit. You're tired. He's not as tired, but he's a bigger body back. And this is big 3rd down right here now. Big
Absolutely. 2:12 to go and counting. Still no stoppage from Brian Braddock and St. Augustine.
I thought he would have called timeout there because this will be it. This will be the game. They'll have to burn him after this. I thought he would have called one there.
2 minutes now. Yeah. 10 seconds go on the play clock. We might see a timeout from Jeff DeSandro and Ponte Vedra as they try to get set up. I think he is going to do that. Maybe not. 3rd and short. 1:50 to go. Glad will keep it right up the middle, and he's got the first down inside the 40-yard line. And that's not necessarily game over, but it might be close. The chains move. The clock sits at 1:44. 3 timeouts to go for St. Augustine.
It'll start when they blow it. Run it.
And the clock is running now. They'll let this play go, and then Brian Braddock will use his timeouts. But it might be too little too late by then. Inside 90 seconds to go. Sharks lead by 3. Ball's at the 37, 1st and 10. They get ready to snap it with 7 seconds. They do. They hand off. Not much doing, and here is the timeout. Oh, now they snuck through there. That was Mike Stevens. He snuck through. I thought he was bottled up, Coach. Snuck through there all the way down to the 31-yard line. And now a timeout with 1:11 to go in the football game. But that's a big gain on first down. St. Augustine's defense just can't stop them.
No.
Ponte Vedra is doing whatever they want to do. And now they're celebrating that first down play.
Yeah, they're just getting a little power run in there and Dunnigan, man. He's just a different back, a bigger back. Like I said, you've been bouncing the little guys around in there and doing it, and then they bring the big guy. His job is just to take the ball and hold on to it and go forward.
If you're just jumping in late, Brent Martin along with Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. This went back and forth. It was 28-21 at halftime. An onside kick late in the first half by Ponte Vedra after they tied it up 21-21. Gave them a bonus possession. They took the lead. They stopped St. Augustine on downs to open the second half. And then they scored to give them a 2-possession lead. And that has separated this football game. Now, St. Augustine's answered, and they just got back to within 3 points moments ago. But the problem for the Yellow Jackets is they have not been able to stop Ponte Vedra at all. Their best stop was only allowing a field goal on the last possession. But now they might be running out of time. 1:11 to go in the final quarter. 2 timeouts to go. 2nd down and just 3 at the 30-yard line of St. Augustine for Ponte Vedra. They snap it. They give it. And nothing doing for Dunnigan that time. Nice job by St. Augustine. Another timeout by Braddock. Only 5 seconds roll off the clock, and we have a critical 3rd and 3 coming up.
Well, they got that ball. Remember, it was like 6:11. I'm sorry, it was
6:02.
6:02 when they got this drive, and they've taken their time and they've just sort of milked it and got the first down again. Now, They're going to pound the ball in there with 33 right here, or they're going to get in that little tight trips or twin set and run the rollout pass that they haven't covered all night either. So
I don't think they're passing it. I think they will run the football, and it might be on a read option kind of play with Glad because he's been able to keep it sometimes. Maybe not be a read option. Might just be the straight quarterback keeper out of the shotgun.
Right.
And they've been able to push the pile.
Yeah, and again, if they don't get it here, St. Augustine burn their last time out, and then they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah,
so it's
then you might
down.
see the pass play.
Yeah, it's 2 down territory. It doesn't matter right now, you know what I mean? But it'll be something with either little zone read or I think the quarterback keeps the ball like you said, and they may fake it to Dunnigan and him run the read off of it, or they may just run right at it. They're in the power set. It should just be quarterback power, too.
Little bit of who wants it more right here. 1:06 to go. Ball on the 31. 3rd down and 3. Quarterback Glad keeps it. He's got the football. They're pushing that pile, and there's a flag down before because it would have been a 1st down. But there's a flag. And if this is on St. Augustine, game's over. If this is on Ponte Vedra, well, things just got more interesting. They call a false start on the Sharks, and they did just get more interesting. Now we might see the play that you talked about, but we could still have 2 down territory.
Still got 2 downs, and you did burn a couple extra seconds off the clock.
Well, they might reset that because that should have been before the snap. No?
Yeah, it should have been before the snap if it was a false start.
I think they'll put a few seconds back on the clock. We'll see. Yeah, 1:06.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
1:06 back on the clock. So 66 seconds to play. It brings up now a 3rd and 8. Huge play. Huge penalty. Back to the 37-yard line. 36-yard line, we'll call it. 38-35. Sharks lead it by 3 here at our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. They might throw now. Glad rolls right, and we've got another penalty. Did the receivers move?
Offside.
No. St. Augustine gives them the 5 yards back, and Brian Braddock just lost his hat, and maybe his mind too.
Oh, man.
Well, when he said the word dangerous, he meant those 44-second drives and the 123 drives because they can strike quick.
Right.
But then that kind of penalty and some of the big plays they've given up, that's what he means by this dangerous, young, talented football team. And that's a big play. Now it changes things again. We go back to where we were a couple of minutes ago. 1:05 left in the game. 38-35. 3rd and 3 from the 31. Glad will keep it. And St. Augustine stuffs them. So now it brings up 4th down and 2. Braddock calls his final timeout. The clock keeps moving, although it shouldn't be. But we are at Ponte Vedra. Good job by the clock guy. The home clock. 56.4 is what's on the clock. We'll see if they put a couple more seconds back. But nonetheless, 4th and 3 will be the situation. And you have to go for it, right? The ball's on the 31-yard line. You have to try to go win the football game here instead of pooch punting it down to the...
No, you got it. They're going to go for it.
It looks like they're bringing Mikey Stevens back in the game. He's been really good. Dunnigan has been their heavy back. Glad has had a heck of a game. R.J. Glad, the QB. And then every receiver has made a play.
Every receiver's made a play. Yeah, I don't like the field goal here with the wind whipping and it's long. You got your backup kicker.
Yeah, no chance at a field goal.
But
it's hard to tell what the wind's even doing up here.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little rollout pass.
All right, here's the deal now.
Under route.
4th and 3 from just outside the 31-yard line of St. Augustine. 59 seconds to go. No timeouts for St. Augustine. This could be the football game if Ponte Vedra gets a 1st down. Empty set now. Glad looks to throw it. Might be swallowed up, and he reaches across to try to get the 1st down, but they will not give it to him. St. Augustine stuffs them, and they will take over on downs with 54 seconds to play after a valiant effort by R.J. Glad to have the wherewithal to reach that football closer to the 1st down marker. They just didn't give it to him.
Yeah, really good job right there defensively. They got a little bunch set and everything that they had to get in and sort of got a guy open right there. And he took off the run. Again, they've scored fast tonight, so we're gonna have an interesting 54 seconds right here. Keep your eye on the fast guys.
Here we go. From their own 29-yard line. District championship on the line. Ponte Vedra leads by 3. 54 seconds, no timeouts. Clock stops on a 1st down. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Sammy Edwards is the QB. He just made 2 beautiful throws on the last possession.
They're going 3-man line for the first time tonight. Hopefully they're not going to go into prevent.
Crowd comes to life. Keep an eye on number 1, McDowell. Keep an eye on number 5, Stanley. 54 seconds to snap. They roll right. Edwards looks down the field, has Stanley at the 40, and he steps out of bounds for a first down. Beautifully designed play, well executed, just what St. Augustine needed. Only 5 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and get out of the pocket a little bit and get the one-on-one work right there.
How about these games we've had the last month?
Yeah,
How fun has this been?
This has been awesome.
We knew this one would be good, and it has been good.
All right, let's see what
Trips
we get.
to the left at their own 39, and, well, they'll call it second and short, Coach. The snap with 49 seconds to play. Edwards has a receiver. It's caught.
Fumbled.
It's fumbled away. Ponte Vedra have it. They do have it. Ponte Vedra comes up with the football. The fumble by St. Augustine. He thought he was down. I think that was Wilson. Thought he was down, but no go. And Ponte Vedra looks like they just won a district championship over St. Augustine after recovering the fumble.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was a good. He had the first down on the mesh route. He threw a good ball on him, and then he sort of split a guy, and then the linebacker came in and swatted it right out as he was trying to get extra yards. And instead of just going down, it was a fumble. I have no issue with that. This should be a kneel down and done now. No timeouts for the other team. Nothing to do.
Yeah, no doubt that was a fumble, and it was recovered, by the way, by Xavier Chapman, the junior linebacker. Falls on it. He had no problem getting his paws on that football. They'll take over on downs, and Ponte Vedra is going to win their second district championship ever. They won one a few years ago en route to a state championship run where they finished runner-up, and now they kneel on this one, and they'll put a bow on a fantastic first season for Jeff DeSandro, the first-year head coach for Ponte Vedra. It looked like Wilson was just trying to make a play.
Yeah,
he was tackled around the legs. He was trying to slip that tackle, and great job, great awareness by the Ponte Vedra defense. That senior-laden defense ends up winning the football game for the Sharks.
And again, they stopped them twice. The 6-minute drive with no points, and then they stop them here on the drive that it could have been whatever it was going to be and everything like that. So really unbelievable finish to the way it ended on a defensive play that we hadn't had all game.
Well, actually, 2 of them. St. Augustine came up with it, and the clock will now strike 0. And Ponte Vedra High School is your District 3-6A champions with a 38-35 win after a couple of really strong defensive plays in the final minute of this one. What a football game. We'll put a bow on it. We'll have our drive of the game as well. And we'll talk all about it next when we take a break and come back on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Honda of the Avenues introduces model year-end savings on our hottest 2019 Honda models. Right now, get 0% financing on 2019 Accord, Civic, CR-V, Pilot, and Odyssey for up to 60 months. You heard right, 0% financing for up to 60 months at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
0% for 60 months on 2019 new non-titled models only. Must be approved on tiers 1 through 8 through AHFC. All sales prices are plus tax, tag, registration, and dealer fee of $898. Maximum $30,000 finance before optional business office products. Cannot combine offers. Offer ends 10/31/19.
The final whistle has blown and the game is over. We're breaking it all down on the High School Football Game of the Week postgame show. Here's Brent Martineau.
Hey, what a football game we had here today. at Ponte Vedra High School, and the Sharks are celebrating a district championship in 3-6A. Jeff DeSandro's first year as head coach here in Ponte Vedra. Congratulations to him and the Sharks. And that senior-laden defense makes the big play at the end of the game, forcing a fumble, recovering the fumble, and the Sharks get it done. 38-35 over a valiant effort from St. Augustine as the Yellow Jackets fall to 5-4. And now we were just talking in the break. You have to wonder now where the Yellow Jackets sit for the playoffs. This all comes down to the RPI and the numbers. They're 5-4. They have Palatka next week. They could get to 6-4. They've had a challenging schedule, so we'll see where all the numbers shake out. But obviously, disappointment from the Yellow Jackets after a big fourth down stop. They had the ball with a chance, some quick strike ability, and they turn it over with 42 seconds to go and lose the football game.
Yeah, I tell you, unbelievable effort. Both teams, man. This was a heavyweight battle again. Again, defensively, Ponte Vedra did enough in the second half, I think, to get what they got to, but they did enough in the second half. They had to stop. They had the big stop after the 6-minute drive coming there. They had to stop here at the end of the game, but again, it was a hats off. Great game, both sides, offensively, both. A lot of good players on this field tonight.
Xavier Chapman comes away with the fumble recovery that sealed the deal and gives Ponte Vedra a district championship in 3-6A, 38-35. Ponte Vedra beats St. Augustine. Really good football game, a fun football game. Gosh, if you go back to the last month, I mean, think about these games. We had 2 overtime walk-offs. Rains beat Sandalwood, and then Lee beat Columbia. Last week we had Baker County, West Nassau, missed field goal at the ends, or we would have had overtime. And, heck, we might have been facing another chance at overtime with a field goal if they could have got closer. So fantastic football here in the month of October when it really counts here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Well, let's put a bow on our show with our Lou Saab Honda of the Avenues drive of the game. And, you know, you'd like to say St. Augustine coming off their own 2-yard line. They drove 98 yards for a touchdown. But in winning fashion, I think that the play that really changed the game and the drive that changed the game was late in the second quarter. Ponte Vedra had just tied it up on a 28-yard screen pass. They kick an onside kick, recover it, and they score right before half with 16 seconds to go. That has to be the game-changing moment in this football game.
And again, and if they don't onside kick, they go in 21 at halftime, it could be a flip the other side.
Absolutely.
They may end up losing. And again, you made the point they thought maybe they had to steal possession somewhere. They stole possession, and then they got points stealing possession too. So really, I think, again, that was a big turning point in the game. And congratulations, both teams. Congratulations to Ponte Vedra. Really impressed the way they play, what they did. St. Augustine, good job for them this year, too. And, man, it was fun tonight, man.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Thanks again to Lou Saab Honda of the Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy, for bringing us our keys to the game and also our drive of the game. Now, Coach, we're kind of flexing the schedule these days.
Right.
Next week, I think with all the district stuff wrapped up, and congratulations, by the way, go to Terry Parker and Sharon Dorsey. They beat Westside 26-21 to win the district championship. They're in Duval County. And congratulations also to Menendez. We believe, at least I shouldn't say that completely, but we believe Menendez was in control over that one to beat Orange Park and win the district championship there. So some district titles won tonight, including here in St. Johns County. Ponte Vedra gets it done. But we're thinking next week now. It's Florida-Georgia week, busy week. We're thinking could get to Rains at Bartram Trail for our game of the week. Obviously, Bartram Trail might be the best team in Northeast Florida. They remain undefeated after another big win over Sandalwood. And then Rains, the 2-time defending state champions. We've done both teams already this year. They play each other next week in the final regular season game. And the one thing with all these RPIs and everything, that even all these games still matter. That 10th game matters. It used to be a throwaway game.
For everybody.
But they do matter, and maybe really matters for St. Augustine. They'll get Palatka. They've been playing that game for a long time.
So that, Brent, that could be a good one. We also could have a playoff eliminator where you have Fletcher and Mandarin playing, both on the RPI bubble. You know what I mean? So you got that one. It could be one,
see
too.
That? We're not guaranteed.
No.
We're not locked in. You listen in Stuart Weber. Stuart Weber just texted me, by the way. He said Menendez won first district title ever for Menendez.
Yes,
so
sir.
Congratulations to them. Now, listen, Stuart makes the decision.
No, I know.
So he'll have to. Right. No, you know what, actually, Coach? He'll be in London with the Jags. Forget Stuart. I'll make the dang decision.
Hey, well, I thought you were in charge. But again, but that's the scenario of next week when they look at it, is you could have Fletcher and Mandarin playing, and the loser's out and the winner's in type of thing, and that's a playoff game atmosphere. Raines and Bartram probably both in, but that could be a playoff game atmosphere too, and I believe that's at Bartram, right?
It is at Bartram.
Okay.
So we'll take a look at the schedule, and we'll keep you up to date.
We can go to
on
Chubby's
our flex.
Wings beforehand too. We can go to Chubby's.
Speaking of Mr. Chubby's Wings, thanks for their sponsorship of our pregame show. Also, a big thanks to Baker Sports. We will announce next week's Coach of the Week on our afternoon radio show on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6. You point to Jeff DeSandro. It might be. Yeah, we already had Coach DeSandro as our Coach of the Week, I'm pretty sure. And then thanks to Lusab Honda The Avenues for our keys to the game and our drive to the game. We appreciate all the support locally and the ability to do this and have a great night here in late October on a beautiful night in St. Johns County. And congratulations once again to Coach Jeff DeSandro and Ponte Vedra. For Justin Kuzart back in the studio, Stuart Weber for putting everything together for our Friday Night Blitz. Coming up at 10:30 on Facebook, we'll have all the highlights from around the area, and we'll crown all the district champions. I'm going to go talk to the Ponte Vedra players and coaches, and we'll have that reaction on the way. And then at 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30, actually just CBS 47 because of the World Series, we'll have an abbreviated version of the Blitz. For Kevin Sullivan, I'm Brent Martineau. Thanks for hanging out with us on a gorgeous Friday in St. Johns County. 38-35, Ponte Vedra beats St. Augustine to win the District 3-6A championship. Congratulations to Coach Jeff DeSandro and the Sharks.
And everybody else.
Hey, we'll jump in with the Game 3 of the World Series here on ESPN 690 right after this. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thanks for listening to ESPN 690's High School Football Game of the Week. Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. for Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
It's like playing chess out there with a guy like Greinke. So many different pitches, can add and subtract on each of them.
And as well with seemingly the inconsistency of the home plate umpire.
Yep. 0-2 and a swing and a slow roller through the left side for a base hit. Big turn by Eaton. He'll retreat to first. He reached down. That ball was nowhere close to the zone and just kind of tapped it to the left side, and it was perfectly placed to go through.